Alrighty, we are live.
Live? Sweet. Hello. Welcome to any viewers that maybe have tuned in at just this second. This is session 18 of Roll for Severity's second D&D campaign. We stream live every Sunday at noon PST here at twitch.tv/rollforseverity.
Is it session 18 or is it session 19?
Oh, is it 19?
It's 19.
Add an extra one in there. It might be 19. Ever closer to 20. Thank you very much, Giggle, for getting in on that. And thank you to the rest of my players that you see here, joined by the three lovely people, Kit, Tom, and of course Giggle. I am the DM, Miss Wolfinger. Now, before we get underway, there's some things to go over. So first things first, each month we donate a portion of all income generated by Roll for Severity to charity. That will include things like donations, bits, subscriptions, and any sales from the store. So this month's charity is the Rainbow Railroad. It's an organization focused on providing solutions to LGBTQI+ people who need immediate assistance because they're facing serious threats to their lives and safety. So you can check them out at their website, rainbowrailroad.org. So I've been forgetting to mention that videos are uploaded on YouTube, and you can rewatch any old videos from my stream or Giggle's stream, I think a week after they air.
Whatever,
is that right?
fuck up.
Yeah, so assuming Giggle dots all the I's and crosses all the T's, you can rewatch any old videos that you may have missed. Having mentioned a store, Roll for Severity has one, full of your typical TeePublic swag stuff. And you can find it on tpublic.com/rollforseverity or click the helpful link below the stream. The last point to make is this is not a pre-made 5th ed campaign. We have varied rules. We use different player mechanics and in-game adjustments, and the rules are not always as written. So fair warning, going to be super homebrewed, just a whole different kind of game. And maybe the last thing to mention is I didn't get this from my partner, this black guy. I fell into a table, so just get that out of the way. Now to my players. What happened last time?
Well, Mel got punched in the face by a table.
No.
Flight or fight response was taken. Mel chose flight. Gravity reminded her, no, that's not an option, and brought her back down to Earth.
Yeah. These things happen.
But we went around and harassed a whole bunch of people, asking them personal questions.
Interrogated.
We
Some of them
interrogated
was
a
just
whole
straight
lot
up
of
just
people.
harassing them and asking them personal questions, like,
Okay.
why are you banging the dad and the son?
I think we kind of basically talked to the entire train almost.
Yeah, we've just been going up to everyone on the train and being like, so what do you know about the murder?
And then some people are like, wait, there was a murder?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we've interrogated everyone on the train about the murder.
No, there's randos that you can definitely talk to, but you've not focused on the randos.
Those randos,
Yeah.
and did we actually interrogate, what's his name, Jigsaw, or did we just go and have a very awkward conversation about diathemine flowers with him?
Marsh just had a very comfortable talk about drugs.
You
I don't
guys
think
did
we
weird
actually
cop, dumb
interrogated
cop for a little bit, but...
Is he a suspect? Jigsaw?
Everyone on the train is a suspect.
That's
But
good.
Jigsaw,
Everyone
of
is a
all of them,
suspect.
is the most normal.
Yeah. We did find some drugs. We found a lot of drugs from different sources. Including some little white pills that the victim was taking that I want to see what those do to a person.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nothing. Don't worry about it. I was thinking it's like if I remember, our biggest lead is the doctor right now.
Well, it seems like everyone on this train had a reason to kill him.
Everyone, like, possibly they were all planning to kill him, and then he died of natural causes before they could.
Yeah, good chance.
Yeah,
So-
he overdosed on his own miracle cure and just kicked the bucket as like everyone was like lining up outside the door, just pulling an airplane where one person walks up, slaps a few times, moves over, the next person slaps him a few times, moves over. That was their
You
line
know-
up for that. Then he overdosed before they opened the door.
Yeah. There was some wolf hair caught in the doorway, and we do know that the doctor has a wolf pelt.
And
Correct, which is
Bates was very paranoid about vampires and werewolves and leprechauns.
other sorts of spookums that were apparently common in the area that you're going to, or he thought was common. Everyone thinks he was crazy. You learned that Lecter was sort of being held there with his family hostage and had to serve a certain amount of time working with Kruger and Sons before he could go free.
Yeah, it was
You
2
learned
years to
more-
the end of that.
Correct. Miss Voorhees, who was together with Bates, was also having a secret affair with his son Norman. Who else did we have?
Myers
Business
had,
partner.
Business partner, correct?
said that Bates had more refined taste and fell in love with Voorhees' cooking. Myers thinks it's Norman, because Norman's supposed to get like basically the company when Bates dies.
Stood to gain a lot, yes, from his father's death.
Dr. Lecter is just like getting sick and tired of this shit. Voorhees was not included in the will, and so she may have been butthurt about that.
So you discovered a lot of things.
Yeah. Jigsaw is a competitor, so serves to benefit from Bates dying.
Should the company go under? Yes.
Bates's late wife was addicted to drugs, and Bates was trying to make her some methadone.
Oh yeah.
To which he failed. And she died.
We played a mean trick on Norman. And he immediately ran to Dr. Lecter.
Yeah.
Very worried about his own health.
And trouble focusing, and deja vu,
Deja vu.
and trouble focusing, and deja vu, and deja vu.
Yeah, you guys are terrible. I love it. Yeah. So basically, last session was just spent giving the third degree. I don't know which degree.
Oh, I do have a note here in all caps that says Voorhees is on dope.
That's it.
Okay. Right. So
Yeah,
a lot of
Voorhees
sus
is
people.
addicted to painkillers.
Yeah, so you're probably 4 days out from Oster Bay at this point, so you still have time to play this little game with Holmes. You're not sure, I don't think you're sure where he is at the, with his, interrogation and stuff. I don't think you've talked to him, or rather you did, but he didn't compare notes.
Yeah, we briefly said hi once, and he's like, I almost got it, and didn't
Yeah.
say much else.
He's confident.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why I want to drug him.
Fair enough.
Oh, hang on, am I violating Twitch regulations? If you can see my bra a little bit.
Oh,
No.
is that a thing?
No.
It's a thin spaghetti strap.
I mean, if you're sitting there in only your bra, probably, but... Oh no, bra strap. Ah.
Accent
No,
fabric.
it was falling down a little bit over here. So
Well, I mean, as long as you're not, like, once again, just, like, pulling the whole tit out and just like, here we go. I think we're fine.
Party tits. Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up where we were yesterday. You were in the back cart. Marsh had taken some drugs from Kruger and Sons' cart's secret compartment. So you have that on you. And we're going to head to bed for the night with new plans to continue the investigation today. Of which it is the morning.
The morning, and see how many magic surges we go, as Naroke probably goes through every single spell slot he has.
Yes.
Trains. It's like, oh, the train was derailed. What happens? Like, well, there was 17 explosions on the train. Most of which were not caused by the engine.
Most of which.
well, if enough of the explosions happen near the engine will also explode.
Exactly.
So early morning, you guys convene outside where most of you are sleeping. Naroke, you come over from your section of the train carts, and you see Endress is already up with a groggy look, heading back to her cart and a coffee in hand, And she gives you a slight nod and says, I don't want to know anything about anything. I'm going back to bed. You get the sense that she has heard about some of the happenings on the train and wants to stay as far removed from it as she can.
Yeah. She's had enough personal involvement with plots in this campaign. She's going to skip out on all the ones that she can.
Yeah. She bypassed the mutiny somehow, and already you're up to shenanigans a day later. So she's good.
I mean,
What
you
is your-
literally did sign on for this.
Did. In blood. But whose blood?
At this point, I'm guessing probably the mayor.
Her eyes go wide at that, and she slams her door shut. Yeah, so your first order of business for the day is which?
I think we go talk to a corpse.
Yeah,
That's
let's
probably
go.
the best.
Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
To the kitchen freezer.
To the kitchen freezer, yeah. So on the way there, smells wonderfully. It's still quite early, and there are a few early goers having some food on your way. Smell of bacon permeates the air. It's quite delicious. A little off-putting since you're going to go see a body, but it smells great.
You think it's off-putting. Naroke is grabbing a plate of food and heading to the go talk to the dead body.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all three of us are fully capable of eating in front of a dead body.
We've dealt with enough corpses in our journey so far.
Cool.
Naroke's got like pancakes and sausage links and bacon, just all smothered with syrup, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be great."
Yeah, I mean, considering all of our lives before this campaign started.
Feel free, then load up. When you enter the kitchens, the three normal cooks are there. Voorhees does not seem to be prepping anything for her entourage. Entourage. And they look up at your entrance or whatever, and they know what you're here for. They don't stop you. They just give you hellos. Naroke, the head cook, is like, enjoy the food, Sonny, handmade.
Already
Blows you a bit of a kiss. And yeah, you're free to go into the freezers. To which there is Bates's body wrapped in sort of a rug as per usual. There's also a pig on a hook right beside him. That's new. So just be aware. There's this big pig.
Oh, hang on. We're on a train. Where did this pig come from?
Can we talk to the pig
the cow
Pig
hook on the
carcasses
front.
are not naturally occurring.
Maybe it was there the entire time and we just didn't notice.
See, as the train is going throughout the night, on like the cow catcher on the front of the train hit a pig, and it's like, yeah, well, it's already dead. May as well hang it up and let's keep going.
Do you ask them about the pig or?
Yeah, I'm going to stick my head back out and say, there wasn't a pig carcass in here yesterday.
Nah, pig was alive. It's in Mavis's kind. We just slaughtered it last night.
Ah. Who's Mavis?
Bacon.
Mavis is one of the cooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were just keeping a pig in your quarters?
Chickens, too.
I'd be very fascinated to see this later.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge her for having a pig in her quarters.
Anyways, you're probably going to be eating it. You're probably eating some of it now.
Yeah, as I said, fresh bacon.
Oh, yes.
So Naroke is going to go and... So we have 10 minutes to speak with the body. We can ask 5 questions.
Have you cast it?
Pardon?
Have you cast it?
Not yet.
Okay,
So
when
we're
you
gonna
do,
think of-
just roll the surge.
Yeah.
We should
probably
have our
think of
questions
the
prepared
question.
beforehand.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
what
don't-
I'm bringing up. So we have 10 minutes and 5 questions. What do we want to ask him?
I think the first question is, who murdered you? And if he says, I don't know, we get more granular past that point.
Let's see here. Who was the last person they saw is probably an important one. Could talk about the weird animal skin thing though. I don't think that would give us any new information. That would just be like, yeah, person in a bear outfit walked in the middle of the night and spooked me.
This is in my cart.
I'm a little, honestly, like, I'm a little suspicious of the fact that Myers is the only one who doesn't seem to have a motive. So I want to get his real opinion on Myers.
Yeah?
So, like, something along the lines of, how was your relationship with Myers?
So that's
Or
for sure.
would Myers have had a reason to kill you?
That being said, do we want to start with the who killed you, and as opposed to what, like, doing something right at the gate that's a bit more open of what did you do over the course of your last day alive?
I mean, I feel like who killed you is going to get to get directly to whether, like, that it's the thing is that this spell can be tricky. Nick doesn't know this, but Kit, the human person, knows this. So, for example, if you say, "Do you know who killed you?" they say yes, and you burned a question.
You got to be careful with the hubris in your question.
Yeah. You got to make sure to ask questions that either you can accept a yes or no answer, or it can't be answered with a yes or no answer.
So who murdered you, as opposed to
Yes.
do you know who murdered you?
Yes, exactly.
Do all three of you want that to be one of your questions, regardless of order?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so we'll say that's potentially one. Last person you saw, or what did you do in your day?
I think I would quite want to ask last person you saw, because it might give us like new information, or maybe it was like, oh, it was just the cook, in which still kind of information.
Are you two amenable to that? Do you think that's
Yeah, who did you see last? Makes sense.
Yeah.
okay?
Then how was your relationship with Myers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the question is, would Myers have a reason to kill you?
The reason why, like, once again, with that, it's a yes or no question. It was like, would Myers have had a reason to kill you? Yes, we've earned a question.
Oh, so what
What is
would
your relationship
Myers...
with Myers gives us, like, because the questions don't have to be answered yes or no. Like, they can be answered in more long-winded, to whatever level of information they're willing to divulge. So asking how was your relationship with Myers, if he's like, it was awful, this fucker's been trying to kill me for the last 6 months, then that raises a big red flag. But if it's just like, would Myers have had a reason to kill you? Yes. For all we know, Bates banged Myers' wife at some point, and he figures that Myers has been holding a grudge for the last 8 years.
Maybe he's a big sleut. Or he certainly is. Anyways, so question 4 and 5 of this round. What would you want to get out of it?
I could like think of one more, but I don't know if it'd be like the most valuable.
I think maybe we calculate our last two questions based on how the first three go.
Okay. What was your thought, though, Marsh?
Yeah, what question were you thinking?
I don't exactly know how to ask it, but if we don't have a lot of questions that stem from the first couple questions, I wouldn't mind asking something along the lines of like, how much drugs did you take on your night of your death? Because it's like, we're pretty sure the cause of death was overdose, but we don't know if like he did it to himself or someone gave it to him.
Maybe along the lines of, which pills did you take on your last day alive?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Potential. Yeah.
But yeah, that's like if it's like a backup question. So I don't think it'll get us to any hard answers. It'll just give us slightly more information.
I will say, the way I'll run this, you guys have your questions, 1, 2, 3. For 4 and 5, within the time limit or whatever, you're obviously able to huddle and like ask the questions amongst yourselves to try and figure out what you'd want to ask without it being like that genie trick of like, oh, you've this is your wish, da da da. No, that wasn't my wish. So you can have the time to think about what your last two questions will be amongst yourselves.
Part of me, just because it's just like, I could see Naroke doing this as well. It's like, I have to make sure that it's like, it's not like cast speak with dead. It's like, How are you doing this evening? This morning,
How
it's
you
like burn right out the gate.
Yeah, just burn a question right off the bat.
Well, I'm dead. Yeah.
Cadaverific.
Woo!
Alright, so yeah, we'll start with the who
Can,
killed you.
can this episode be called Cadaverific?
It should be done. How many A's in cadaverific?
A bunch. Okay.
2.
2. Cadaverific.
Cadaverific. There, I've updated the
Pardon
stream
me.
title as well.
Okay. When you're ready, roll me that surge and play it out.
Roll 1d20. We do not explode at the first spell of the day. So I will cast Speak with Dead. And that burns one of my 3rd level spell slots.
So, the incense you burn as part of the component kind of wafts through the air and permeates with your bacon. Kind of a weird contrast of like the fake
That's right. Now
lilac.
the bacon tastes like incense.
And as you're waiting for the incense to kind of settle around the body, you see his eyes sort of flutter, and a weird, irregular, like breathing pattern kind of come to his chest, and then his eyes kind of half-lidded, open, expressionless, hollow, but open.
Creepy.
He doesn't speak.
Naroke's gonna be like, so I'm not sure if you are aware, but currently you are dead. We are in the process of trying to figure out who done it. Who did kill you?
It's going to take a deep breath. You can hear like a hollow wheeze as air fills the cavity. And then sort of it decompresses as he replies, "The monster."
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, we may have to recalibrate the rest of our questions.
Yeah, that was
So-
probably the last person he saw, so don't know if it's much worth it to ask that question.
Is a monster a person? Sorry, Undertale fans. Monsters are people.
Maybe,
Huddle real quick.
yeah, just immediate first question.
Yeah, is it worth asking who is the monster?
I mean, it might be better than to ask who was the last person he saw, so...
Well, in a situation like that, would we want to basically get him to describe the monster rather than
yes.
who is the monster? Because he's like, I don't know the monster, or the monster is the monster. It's the thing that killed me. Like asking him to describe the monster then gives us like, was he hallucinating and there was a giant red 5-headed dragon in his cart, or a red-headed dragon in his cart?
Red-headed dragon.
Long, luscious, red-headed locks on
wig.
this like big ass dragon. Or was it Fuzzy Fuckface over the doctor?
Yeah.
Getting him to describe the monster may
Yeah.
give us more clues.
Yeah,
Okay, so maybe the question is, what does the monster look like?
and maybe stemming from that, maybe ask how the monster killed him would be important.
Yeah, well, let's find out what the monster looks like first.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna turn back. It's like, what does the monster look like?
So similar as before, a deep breath, wheezing as if he's not getting enough air. Hollow black eyes, dark gray fur, teeth like daggers. Horrific.
So it
I kinda
sounds like doctors.
Yeah.
Well, That being said, Mel, the pelt that we saw in the doctor's cabin and the fur that we collected from the bed frame and door, what color was it?
It was the same color.
But
It
what
was
color
kind
was
of
it?
gray.
Was it was
Gray.
gray? It was dark gray. Okay.
The pelt had a head on it, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Many of Silent Bob's pelts were quite intact as you were fawning over them politely.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we want to ask then how the monster killed him?
What were our other questions? Are there any that still apply here?
Last person you saw,
Yeah.
and your relation with Myers.
And how much of what pill did you take?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because how much of what pill you took may
Thank you.
also play
Thank you.
into this. It's like high as a kite.
Yeah.
Seeing red-headed dragons and big.
Yeah,
black
depending
bears.
on how much meth he was on.
Did you mix acid with mushrooms? It's a viable question.
It's like that bit from SLC Punk where the drug dealer takes a run through his sprinklers with a pocket full of acid tabs and loses his goddamn mind.
Oh no, skin contact.
Yeah. So do we want to ask how the monster killed him? Because if he describes being like ripped apart by this monster, then we also know that it's not the case because his body is intact.
Yeah,
So
we know
unless the
he's an
doctor is
unreliable
really
narrator.
good at his job and stitching guy back together, then
With enough heal spell.
Now, what the hell kind of meat glue are you using to keep that body intact?
he just spent the entire night casting mending.
That's the name of my next band is Meat Glue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should. I'm kind of down for asking how the monster did the deed.
Okay, third question: how did the monster kill you?
Claws at my throat, eyes peering into mine. His maw opened wide, and then nothing. Blackness. It attacked me.
So we want to check the throat after to see if there's any signs of asphyxiation.
I think there's a flying here that's making movements.
Um,
Come back here, you little bastard.
Swat you.
Okay, so we have two questions left. Who
In this
we
time.
saw last is
It's the
kind of
monster.
irrelevant.
Yeah, we now know that one. So
Do we want to then find out how much of what pills he took? Because
Yes, I want to know how much drugs he was on.
yeah, because when we did our first analysis of the body, there wasn't any signs of like external signs of like this guy got mucked up, and so it could have very well been like a situation where Doc comes in, he's in the process of overdosing, and Doctor's like grabbing him, trying to shake him, trying to get his attention, trying to get him to focus, which he took as big scary monster strangling me to death.
yeah, that death could have been like metaphorical or maybe actually close to how it happened. It's a couple different ways.
Or he just straight up
Definitely
tripping
leaning
balls
towards my
and-
theory of how he was going to be murdered but died of natural causes before.
Yeah. everything went black from his heart attack.
From the heart attack that he had.
Yes, Naroke will turn back. It's like, how many of what pills did you take the night of your death?
The doctor gave me those accursed heart pills. I had about 5. And then the other pills that demand I take them. My body aches without them. I lost count.
Oh.
Foul pills. Addiction that needs to be cleansed.
So he took, we don't know how many, possibly infinite meth pills.
Infinite pills.
He just sat back,
Okay.
mouth open, bottle overhead, just dumping them down.
Guys, I think I've got cause of death.
Take that, Holmes.
Oh man, do I have cause of death.
Yeah.
Kind of infinite meth.
Maybe you're not supposed to mix the heart pills with the other pills. I don't know.
What did you say
You're
last
supposed to be
time?
taking those other pills, period.
Do cocaine, live forever?
Incorrect.
Oh,
We
man.
definitely got to do some analysis on the composition of those pills and then give them to somebody and see what happens.
I think I have a alchemist kit or something. They
Okay,
can
maybe
try.
you can do a chemical analysis for us.
From the drug lab.
I'll just have to make a drug lab into our in our bedroom. No biggie.
Use
I also
Andrews.
don't worry about it.
Andrews, we need to borrow your room. Don't worry about it.
I
Actually, you know what we could always do too is if we're having issues getting other people to take the drugs, just be like, Andrus, we need you to be ready to do a lot of cure poison
Oh,
because we're going to have some fun.
were you? What were you
have-
thinking of?
I have a +9 or something to sleight of hand. I think I can get someone to take the drugs.
are you suggesting Andrews take the drugs?
No,
No, it was going to be
she'll
Naroke takes
die.
the drugs, and then since
No.
Sarah has the high of his life, and then Andrus is just like,
Yeah.
remove poison, remove
I-
poison, remove poison.
Yeah, no,
I-
Andrus is a nerd. If we give her like half an E-tab, she'll end up in the corner trying to peel herself like an orange.
In the crypt, when she got drugged with Naroke, she was making out with a snake stone statue. So
She
can't-
parties hard. She cannot handle her shit. We
It's just a
can't do
little.
that.
It's just a little bit of cocaine. I'll really like if our string of questions is just like, what about this death? What about the monster? What about this? But what about Melvin?
Yeah, question for our fifth question. Do we want it to be what's your relationship with Myers, or do we want it to be something else?
Who is Vortig?
Who is Vortig?
He has to know.
Who is Vortig?
Actually, one of the things we could also do as well is just to get either traumatize the spirit on its way out, or find out like to what extent he knew.
Spirit.
Ask him if he knew why, or if he ask him to what extent he was aware of the fact that Voorhees was also banging his son.
How emotional can ghosts get? I guess we're gonna find
We
out.
can find out.
It says in the spell that it's not their soul, just their animating spirits. So I don't think we can offend
You won't saw.
them. Tragically, I don't think we can make a corpse cry.
So, tentatively, did you know about the affair?
Tentatively, did you know about the affair? Tentatively, what was your relationship with Myers? Any other contenders there?
I'm out of questions. We got a lot of information out of that.
Yeah, with Myers. Hard to know which way to go. You guys asked interesting questions.
We could also ask him
You asked about the case.
if the Aldriathamine in the bottom hidden compartment of his case was his.
We
Because
also-
we don't know whether
question.
those are his giant Dryathamine collection, or whether
That's a good point.
the orc has been carrying on and using him as a smuggling operation because, hey, doctor.
In that case, the question we should ask is, who does the triathamine in your suitcase belong to?
We could also just ask him how the pills are made too, but I guess we're gonna try to figure that out ourselves
Try and
anyways.
figure
We're
it out.
gonna
Or you
reverse
can
engineer that. We got
trauma
enough pills.
jigsaw into telling you.
Jay Jigsaw, we need you to do some on the spot chemical composition analysis.
We'll pay you, maybe?
So, who does the Zeta Dry / Dryathamine belong to as a tentative question? Okay.
Which one do we think
Actually,
we
I'm
wanna
leaning
go
towards asking who the Zeta Dry belongs to.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
with? Yeah, because that'll give us information of whether he was even aware of it, where he was like, oh yeah, that's where I was making all my pills, or whether if he's not aware of it, then Orc Boy's got some more explaining to do. Also, we should probably check the chemical composition of the heart pills and see if that's just more Zeta dry, just with a
In a
red
different
candy
pill?
coating.
Yeah.
Who does all the Zeta dry in the hidden compartment of your luggage belong to?
Myers and myself.
Okay, that's interesting, and I think that's 5 questions, so
Yeah.
we're done.
Yep.
Is it really?
Yep.
Energy, what the monster looked like? Which pills did you take?
How did the monster kill you?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
Who,
okay.
Who
Thank
was
you.
it? What does it look like? How
That's right.
much
There
of
was
what
Oh.
pills did you take? The answer was all of them. And
Yeah, all the pills.
We could have snuck in another question without TM
Whoops.
noticing.
Stupid DM. That's right. There was 3 monster questions. I only
Yeah.
had 2 written down. Yeah. So I guess you could always cast the spell continuous times to get more questions out of him, or try and
it's-
take what you have.
I think it's a 3rd level, which means you have 1.
I can cast 1 more 3rd level spell.
Okay.
You don't have to do it now. You could always reconnaissance some of your info and come back to him with more. Like,
Yeah.
you guys.
We have a bunch of information now that we should probably investigate further. And actually, since we got the body here unwrapped already, I want to check the throat. Is
Yeah,
there any
check the bruising.
signs of like struggle, asphyxiation, anything like that?
Yeah, I'll assist and give help.
Let's do some. Investigation? I guess is better than perception because it's.
Would this be
you're specifically
medicine?
Oh, you know what? I'll leave it.
Medicine is exactly.
Medicine. Let's do medicine. I guess since you're not just looking for something, you're looking for more in depth.
Oh, whoopsie,
And that was
That is
a.
the wrong screen. Where is? That's the one I need. No, that's not the right. That's the one I need to be on.
I was like RFS. So got a 17.
Technically, I still rolled a 4. It still rolled it as Naroke.
Okay, I see.
So I was just rolling from the wrong window.
But the assist from Marsh gives you advantage. Is that how that works? Brain is.
Yes.
Yeah, it assists give advantage.
Hell
So
yeah. So
18.
17, 18. Yeah, so upon a kind of closer look there on his throat, it's not deep, dark bruising, but you do see bruising at his neck there on his throat. Not what you'd expect from someone that was strangled to death, but clearly signs of something
He got grabbed
happening.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Anything else to check out on this body? Keep in mind, you did find powder on his lips, rat poison under his nails.
Yeah. Yeah, we found meth on his lips, rat poison under his nails, and now he looks like he's been grabbed by the throat. This guy knew how to fucking party.
Like, maybe, like... No, that wouldn't make sense. It's like, maybe he was, like, grabbed in the throat and, like, force-fed the pills?
Maybe.
Though...
Or I still like my theory that his cause of death was genuinely natural causes.
Yeah, no, I'm like...
natural
I think-
causes in the sense of he overdosed, but
I think that's still more likely, because it's like, I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but I'm pretty sure the undead ghost would have mentioned, and then the monster shoved a bunch of pills down my throat.
Yeah, the marks on his throat don't indicate that he was like suffocated or like choked out.
Yeah, again, I think it was just potentially held or something.
Yeah.
well, once again, like I got like thinking like the guy like grabbing, shaking him, trying to like get him cognitive enough to respond is definitely plausible. That being said,
Uh-oh.
I want to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Ooh. All right,
Um,
hang on. Let me just look that up.
There's a bunch of fun stuff with this one. So roll 1d20. I do not surge, so I do not light the body on fire.
That's good. Poison and disease 5e.
For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. So if any of the poisons are still lingering in his body, I should be able to identify them and get a good... I should be able to get a good sense of, like, how much this guy fucking took.
Okay, blocked by a foot of stone, inch of common metal, and a thin sheet of lead. Or
Which
3
he
feet
is
of wood.
neither.
Okay, so you're gonna get to him, but it doesn't give you a full range of the entire train.
Yeah, the rat poison is back in the kitchen too.
Yeah,
So
I'm not-
that's gonna ping.
Yeah, that's probably through an inch of common metal. I'm pretty sure the freezer is thicker than an inch.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, that
So
doesn't
it's
ping.
basically going to be... Is any of the food in this, like in the freezer poisoned? And how much poison is in
We're
him?
gonna learn to stay away from anything coming off that pig.
Yeah, the pig was fed the drugs too.
No. All right, so immediate ping. Down below to your right, there's a box, and it's just bright, ding, 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 look at me, I'm poison. It's full of rat poison. So obviously that's where their supply is kept when they don't have the kind of box of it out in the kitchens. And
we have both kinds of his pills on us too.
We do.
yes,
Yeah, I'm gonna
So-
set out the red heart pills and the
the drugs.
dry. Yeah, his miracle cure.
His special pills.
Yeah.
Okay, so the red pills do not ping. The special pills, they do not ping. Bates's body does. So
Ooh.
first his fingertips, and then I guess internally, where his stomach is, you can sense a poison there,
Okay. So
and throughout his bloodstream, sure.
So the rat poison pings. His heart pills don't ping. His white miracle cure pills don't ping.
But there's poison in his stomach and his bloodstream. We learned the kind of poison, right?
Yeah. You identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Also, how diseased is he?
He was not very diseased because there's no
Okay.
diseases there. The type of poison, I'm gonna say, because I've never done this before, that you're relaying everything that you're feeling and sensing to Marsh, and Marsh can be like, this is Zeta Dry in his system. Like you
Hey.
know
Poisoned by Zeta
100%. It's the Zeta Dry drug.
I didn't
Yeah.
know this kills people.
Like the complete components, so not the driathamine, like the raw
Not the
stuff
flour.
and processed, but yeah, when it's mixed with its other stuff, yeah.
Intriguing.
So he is chock full of Zeta Dry. Oh boy.
And his heart pills, do not.
Yeah, his heart pills are not poisonous. His miracle pills, which we thought were Zeta Dry, are not poisonous. Wait, didn't we take some of his
Can we
miracle
get a
pills?
Can we get a sample of the white powder around his mouth that we found
Yes.
last time?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay.
Is the powder on his lips
Sorry,
poison?
the powder totally pings. My apologies.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
pings. It is Zeta Dry.
So either he took Zeta Dry and that killed him, or somebody force fed him Zeta Dry and that killed him.
Would I know how much Zeta Dry approximately is in his system on account of seeing where all this poison is glowing? Like, if this turned into like a light, would he be brightening up the entire fucking room right now?
Like, is he lit up like a Christmas tree? Or...
He's lit up like a Christmas tree that's missing a few bulbs. It's not like, oh god, my eyes, but like his body's pinging all over.
Okay, so he
almost-
took a lot of Zeta Dry.
And not necessarily like, he shoved this bottle down his throat and overdosed and that's what it is, but it's almost like it was a steady supply. Like,
Okay, so he's pretty saturated with the stuff. Oh, a question I might want to ask. Okay, is excess Zeta Dry in the system stored in body fat? And if someone loses a lot of weight really quickly, does that dump the Zeta Dry back into their bloodstream?
Jeez Louise.
That'll happen sometimes to people if they're longtime drug users and then they lose a lot of weight, is that the drug stored in their fat gets dumped back into their bloodstream and they can overdose.
Wow. Learning all sorts of things today.
Judging by the fact that Deanne was not aware that this is a thing, I'm guessing probably not the case. But
I'm guessing that's probably not the case here.
Sorry, guys. I thought I put thought into this, but not that much thought.
Yeah. You can also use this while using arsenic to poison people.
Really?
Because if you give people like steady microdoses of arsenic, the arsenic will really kick up the oil production in their body, so they'll get greasy, and B, they'll start to put on a lot of weight. And then if you stop giving it to them, once you're up to a certain lethal dosage, they'll drop all the weight really suddenly, and the arsenic will get dumped back into their bloodstream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Making of a murderer. That's actually super fascinating.
Yeah.
But he does not appear to have lost a lot of weight suddenly. His skin isn't like particular. I guess it's frozen, so I don't know.
yeah, skin's not really moving a whole lot at this point anyway.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Although now it makes a lot more sense why Kit had to leave the country.
I'm a writer. I have to look up how to kill people on a regular basis.
Yeah, I can only imagine like doing a lot of it. It's like, especially if you're getting into like murder mystery, and all that kind of stuff. It's like the number of watch lists you must end up on as you're researching all these different.
Oh god, I've got a file in like every law enforcement agency in the country. I'm pretty sure.
Alrighty, so he'd been taking Zeta Dry for quite some time, judging by the colossal amount of Zeta Dry in the bottom of his luggage, and that belonged to him and Myers. It's safe to assume that he's been taking this for quite some time. And the Zeta Dry would be the addictive pills.
Yeah, well, we haven't done any chemical analysis on the special pills yet.
But we know they're not poisonous.
If Zeta Dry is pinging as poisonous, but the special pills were not pinging as poisonous, that means they're probably not Zeta Dry.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a continuation of him, because his wife had died from like drug overdose as well, and so if he had been trying to find a way to cure her, and he had gotten addicted to continue on that research after she died, the specialty pills could be him trying to figure out a way to, how do I break an addiction to this drug?
Also, he did mention an addiction when he was talking about how he needed his special pills because an addiction was making him hurt. It's possible that the pills actually do work as like a methadone for Zeta Dry. He was addicted and the pills were working.
Possibly. Time to get Holmes addicted to Zeta Dry.
Yeah, I guess you do have some.
Yeah.
We have access to a lot of drugs right now.
Yeah. Well, let's do a chemical analysis first, and then, like, depending on the conclusions we reach on that, we're probably going to dose him regardless, but we'll know what to watch out for.
Poor Holmes. He chose the wrong people to piss off.
Yeah, he chose the wrong people to be mildly annoying in front of.
Yeah, that's basically it. To be a pompous ass. So, Marsh has the kits. Where are you going to set up shop?
I mean, I guess probably our room in the train.
Yeah, one of the rooms is probably the best idea. Somewhere private.
Or maybe Bortig's room if he's even here.
Where is Bortig?
Did you guys check Bortig's room?
I don't think we went into Bortig's room. We were just deeply confused. We saw a nameplate of a character who wasn't mentioned in the murder mystery. We're like, who the fuck is Bortig? There's more than 5 people on this train?
Is there like a head train person? What do you call those people?
Conductor?
Conductor?
Yeah.
Yes, there is a conductor. He was greeting you along with like the assistant guy when you were getting on the train, shaking your hand. Got confused by Raptor.
I'll just ask him if we can use Bortig's room for the investigation.
No, we don't need to use Vortex room. We have our own rooms that we can use for this.
Watch,
Fine.
Vortig is just the last name of the two ladies you keep traumatizing with train disaster facts.
Oh,
Okay,
probably.
I'll use our room. I just wanted an excuse to go into Bortig's room.
Well, I mean,
If you want to go into Vortex room, I can get you into Vortex room.
well, not only that, but it's like, okay, we're investigating a murder. What's in this room? I don't think we need much more of a reason than that.
All right. So, setting up your alchemy lab in one of your own personal quarters, Bortig to be checked out later. I'm assuming that alchemist supplies, with like an arcana check or whatever, will give you insight into what it is you're testing.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite know if it would be like involve my like proficiency, because I know that like
if you're proficient in it, if you're proficient with alchemy tool or the alchemist kit, then you would be able to add your proficiency bonus to your investigation check.
Give me a second here. I'm actually I have alchemist supplies. I'm only proficient in smith's tools, so I can fix a weapon.
You have alchemist supplies that you're not proficient in.
You stole them from a drug lab.
And also, for some reason, I have 2 sets of alchemist supplies, which I find hilarious.
So you could use it. That just means you don't get to add your proficiency to the roll.
Okay, so I think that would just be Arcana or Nature.
Whichever you prefer, because they're both viable. So I'd let you choose based on.
They're both the same, but I will go with Nature. Or Medicine. Wait, could Medicine apply? I'm good at Medicine.
Medicine will apply.
Okay, I'm good at Medicine, so I'm going to do that. 15.
15. Okay. I can't believe I had to go so far back into my tabs here. It's been a long time. All right. So, and sorry, I should say, what are you testing out first and foremost? Which
I guess we're testing both. So I'll start with the white pills, and then I'll do the heart pills after.
Okay. So the white pills seem to be a medical compound that's similar to driathamine, but is what's the word I'm looking for? Synthetic.
What is methadone?
So it's meth instead of straight up coke. Got it.
Yeah, but no, doesn't seem poisonous to you, Marsh. You would be like, you could take this, and you shouldn't suffer any sort of adverse side effects from just consuming it. Almost like naloxone. Like if you gave it to somebody that wasn't overdosing, it wouldn't be detrimental to their health. It wouldn't interfere with anything.
Oh, so it wouldn't be fun to dose homes with this then?
Not with that. No, it looks quite benign, even though it does have a sort of similar compound to driathamine and zeta dry, henceforth. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that actually gives a bunch of answers. So yeah, the pills were just I guess to like maybe stabilize the driathamine in his system. Probably.
Well, you said that they're basically a synthetic version of Zeta Dry.
Sort of. I wouldn't say like it's Zeta Dry, but like a different form of the drug. It's got a similar compound in it when he's going up and cutting it up and doing his alchemy wizardry.
Yeah, it's like methadone. You can take it if you're addicted to heroin, and it won't fuck you up as bad, but it'll satisfy the cravings.
Okay.
Yes, but it wouldn't. It's not like if you gave. How do I explain it? It's not a perfect mirror to Zeta Dry. You wouldn't.
Yes. It'll help deal with the cravings without giving you all the weird, like, enjoy your acid trip kind of moments.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, and I will just do the same for the heart pills. 21.
Nice. Whew. Yeah. This is from the chrysanthemum family, which is commonly used in heart conditions and is definitely for stabilizing irregular heartbeats and whatnot.
Oh, so they're actually heart pills.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Now all this stuff seems fairly tame, so like, sorry if I was missing something earlier, but so, like, was the cause of death someone just gave him a bunch of Gerathamine or Zeta Dry?
It does seem like somebody, like, either he took a bunch of Zeta Dry and that killed him, or somebody else force fed him a bunch of Zeta Dry and that killed him.
Yeah, because
Which, that being said, Bates is old.
Yeah.
Bates is not... Like, physically, did Bates appear to be, like, strong? Or is he more like a wiry old man?
He didn't seem frail. Like, you wouldn't have looked at him and thought, oh my god, one tough breeze of wind and that guy's going to keel over. But he didn't look like... Sorry, he looked sickly as in addicted. Like, you know, his skin was kind of sunken in and he was, like, eager and kind of crazy. Body-wise, though, he didn't look terrible.
Okay.
Like, you know, kind of lean-ish. You know, not terribly overweight, not terribly under. He was a little older, for sure. But I wouldn't say he was frail.
Actually, how much... I'm going to turn over to Marsh, like, how much Zeta Dry do you have on you at the moment?
I don't like to talk about it. Let's see here.
You have a bunch of flowers that aren't Zeta Dry yet, but you also have some of the Zeta Dry that we stole from...
you took straight up, like, bags of Zeta Dry.
Yeah, I have, like...
Several stages of dry process.
Several stages of this illegal drug.
I have 20
at this moment.
I have 24 like groups of flowers that could be turned into the powder. I have one
specifically the processed Zeta Dry is what I'm looking at.
I think you took a baggie of it.
Yeah, I've got two bags of powder. I don't know if there's a specific like process to turning into powder. I think I've got like one bit of like processed and one bit of just the flour was smushed up. I don't know if they're different, but wait.
Try and dissolve the Zeta Dry in a glass of water.
Sure. Actually, I just realized we
how,
still have like...
And how soluble is it? Like, is this going to be like you... Like, it barely dissolves at all, doesn't dissolve at all, or can you unload, like, half a bag of that stuff into a single glass of water, and it's like, you're about to have the high of your life with this drink.
Yeah, let's check how water soluble it is.
Sure.
Because it's
like the Zeta Dry.
The powder.
Take these pills, and wash it down with this cup of water.
Okay, I should be super more specific here then. So you got the Diathamine flowers. You have the flowers in their powdered form. You have some of the powder that's been processed and is ready to be made into Zeta Dry. You also have Zeta Dry pills, which are different from the white pills that he was taking as because they're not poisonous.
Let's crush some of the Zeta Dry pills into water and see how like water soluble it is.
Yeah, sure.
Test with the powder of like Zeta Dry that is processed and ready to be turned into pills, because I'm assuming that for that it's just a bonding agent added into and then packaging them into a pill shape.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, if you try them both, water gets super milky, kind of cloudy, and the more you mix, it seems like it dissolves a little bit. It's not as granular and powdery in the beginning, but it eventually settles to the bottom, pardon me, and doesn't completely dissolve. So it's not 100% water soluble, excuse me.
So this is quite a different tangent, but I thought about it looking at our flowers. Is there plants in our passenger in our passenger quarters?
Like decorative plants?
Real plants.
Like real yeah, there are there
Okay.
I would say as like a kind of a centerpiece or whatever, each one's got like a little, various plants there.
Did the file of plant speak let us speak with any plants or just specific plants?
Oh my god. I think it just gave us the ability to speak with any plant.
Yeah, because I kind of want to go to the guy's room.
There's a witness we haven't questioned yet.
And talk to him.
It's the house plant in his quarters.
Now, that being said, the
plants don't have eyes.
They have feelers. They can feel the wind in their feathers. I mean leaves.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, that the Speak with Plants dropper that we have, that essentially lets us cast Speak with Plants, correct?
Correct. Which you got in Alferia's castle. Yeah.
Let's see.
Early on.
I'm just
We need
reading
to
this
keep
spell.
breaking the game with items that you've given us.
Yeah, you imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands.
Yep.
So
There was a reason.
We can absolutely question the houseplant.
So we go question the house plant.
Adding houseplant to the list of suspects.
There is there's kind of one kind of slight catch though. Like, how long has it been since
2
since
days.
3 days?
2 days.
2 days.
Okay.
We've been here 2 nights. There was the first night where somebody got murdered, and there was last night.
That's true. Yeah.
So apparently plants have short memory, because Speak with Plants says you can question plants about the events in the spell's area within the past day. So I don't
I think day means 24 hours. 24 hours ago, he was already dead.
I don't think the plant's memory would remember that. Yeah. Oh well. I was straight up like looking at my plants and I'm like, but what if we could speak to the drug plants? Wait, they wouldn't have anything to say. And then I looked at the potted plant and I'm like, too slow.
Damn.
We'll have to remember that for next time, though.
The next murder mystery.
Marsh, I can fucking kiss you right now.
Whenever I'm just idling, it's like looking through the inventory. It's like, yep, got that unbreakable rope we never use.
Fully expected you to talk to corpse plants when you realized that they grow from dead bodies, and then you had Speak with Plants.
So close.
Sure. I'm sure you'll find more dead bodies. So
Probably
speaking
on
of
this
this,
train.
yes.
May or may not be our fault.
Unfortunately is off the table, as hilarious as that would have been. The cactus in his room remains unhelpful.
Yeah, can the cactus testify?
No, could you just imagine us going up to homes and it's like, and then the cactus plant told us.
You can't subpoena a cactus.
Just you're in like the courtroom and you're like, all right, bear with me, jury, but everybody open up.
Except by the time we're having a trial, it's been more than a day, so the plant's already forgotten what's going on. We're gonna have to get the plant to like write out its own
It's like doing some memento shit, writing underneath a Polaroid, don't believe his lies.
Oh god, my face hurts from smiling. Okay.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
You have learned a little bit more about the drugs. There we go. The heart pills, actually heart pills to kind of stabilize your rapid heartbeat and stuff. So that tracks. The white pills that he had seemed to kind of track with trying to his research into trying to curb Zeta dry addiction, possibly brought on by the death of his late wife. And yeah, I think that was your big takeaway.
Intriguing.
What do you want to do with this info?
Well, we can't go question the house plan, unfortunately.
Next time.
Since we can't dissolve the Zeta dry in water, can I dissolve it in coffee? Or at least if it's in coffee and you feel grains of it, you're like, oh, that sugar didn't dissolve, or that creamer didn't dissolve properly.
Yeah, it definitely looks like sugar when it's settled to the bottom, like undissolved sugar.
Intriguing. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get some coffee.
All right.
Making a trip over to say hi to Holmes. Have some
I am,
coffee,
yeah.
Discuss what we've learned thus far. And...
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna swing by the kitchen, grab some coffee, sleight of hand some Zeta dry into the coffee. Actually, no, I'm gonna get 2 coffees. And then I'm going to palm up Zeta dry, like some ground up Zeta dry in each hand. and hold a coffee in each hand. Whichever one he takes from me, I'm gonna drop some Zeta Dry into it. Because I don't want to do the whole which one have I poisoned type.
I thought that's what you were setting up for.
No, I'm just gonna cover both bases rather than dick around like a moron.
Better suggestion though, just poison get coffee in 2 different cups, like 2 different colored cups. Poison one of them and just actively drink from the other one as you're walking up. It's like, I brought you a coffee, and then you're handing him the one you're not actively drinking from.
This is up to you, man.
Yeah, I'll do Giggle's idea.
Otherwise, because in most cases you still need to stir it in order to get it to dissolve. So.
You know, Holmes would totally be like, would have fun with it's like, haha, I've poisoned one of these cups. Can you guess which one? He would totally be down for that. Though.
Actually, we've got the Zeta Dry methadone. If I take it, does it counteract Zeta Dry?
That's another thing we could find out. Hey, Holmes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's give Holmes some Zeta Dry and then give him some methadone and see if it counteracts it. Just for experiments.
Yeah.
For science.
Okay. So I'm gonna go get home some coffee.
Perfect. Are you, Naroke and Marsh, are you tailing Dominic as he does this and standing with him, or are you going to be kind of off to the side?
Naroke's going to also have coffee and grab another plate of bacon and pancakes.
Yeah. I will say that if you guys are duckling following me around, you might start to think something's up.
No.
Well, no, I'm going to go in and get coffee and food, and I'm going to come sit with you and Holmes. But it's going to be actively I'm coming over with food and a beverage myself to partake in sitting down, chatting, and seeing what he's
All right. Sounds good.
That's slightly less suspicious if I'm also coming with food and beverage. If it's just 2 people have coffee and the rest of us are staring at him.
Just waiting to see what happens.
Okay. It's not super early morning like it was when you interrogated the body. But it's still early-ish in the morning. The galley car is more full with people, and Holmes happens to be there, and he is sitting with a plate of garnishes. So the tomato slices, the parsley, not the good stuff, but just the little.
This guy's greens. So many drugs. This piece of shit.
And as you enter the cart and go to fix yourself up your breakfast and stuff, he'll give you kind of a nod, but not really pay you any mind. He goes back to cutting a piece of parsley.
He's cuddling his parsley.
Shut up. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over, grab 2 coffees, take a sip out of one, a sleight of hand some Zeta Dry into the other one, and then make my way over to where Holmes is sitting.
Nork's gonna grab a coffee and another plate full of food and come down and sit down with Kit and Holmes.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, hey, want some coffee? And just slide it over.
He's gonna say, is there sugar? I only take it with sugar.
Yeah, there's sugar in it.
He'll take the back end of his fork and he's gonna stir it up and pull the fork out. It approves. Yeah, and so he'll start sipping intermittently amidst eating.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on him, but not watch him too closely, so he starts to think something's up.
Okay, and he's gonna say, "How goes the fight, gents?"
I think we found some we found some interesting information. Maybe not as interesting as you found, but
wait, who are we?
Well,
fighting?
I am a professional. No fights to be here, good sir. No fights. Just friendly competition.
I am gonna have that.
friendly.
Hat.
Yep.
What is the most perplexing bit of information you've gathered?
The thing that's giving me the most cause for concern is our fair doctor.
In what regards? He seems like a fine, upstanding gentleman.
Exactly. It's strange. I didn't think him to be so squeaky clean as he's appearing to be. It's a bit off-putting.
Oh God, Holmes is a horrible detective.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people are exactly what they seem to be.
I'm just gonna turn to Raptor. Oh no, Raptor's not here. Damn it.
Yeah, I still keep Raptor in
Yeah.
in our home cart.
That's okay.
Well, exactly. Like I am, in fact, a Goliath.
I'll take your word for it.
He's just
Never
like,
seen one
it's like, I need to
before.
drink more.
Just gonna take some pepper and like sprinkle it over his little tomato wedges and then like eat it like an orange, leaving the outside bit of his tomato. He's really weird. So yeah. Any other questions for me? Are you struggling that much?
Well, you know, we're not exactly professionals, and you are.
Quite right.
Though, out of curiosity, have you spoken with the victim? And
Have I
just like,
talked to the body? I have checked it over, of course.
that's not what I
Gathered
asked.
some.
I asked if you'd spoken with the victim.
No, have you?
Indeed, it was quite an enlightening conversation. Just to like, put him on that edge of like, he doesn't have the full arsenal that we have.
I see. Spells to be had, eh there, gents?
Oh,
Good
not
for
on my
you.
part.
I'll have to up my game. Oh, he's gonna take another coffee. I want everyone to give me perception checks.
Up my game, drink the cocaine coffee.
Up my game by drinking cocaine.
Oh, it's a
Alright.
10.
A 10. All right. You're just so
I
pissed at
nat
how he's
one.
eating this tomato.
No,
Not one.
apparently I 21 4.
Oh, nat 20 for a 24.
Yep.
We hit the middle ground, we hit the bottom rung, and then we hit the top rung.
It's so true.
We had a 10, a 1, and a 20.
Weird.
Crit fail, crit success, painfully average. So Marsh, are you eating or just chilling?
I'm just chilling.
Just chilling. So as you're kind of going about, kind of looking around and stuff, you're sort of like, man, like, what is that sound? Someone's breathing really funny. And then it occurs to you that Holmes is kind of breathing rapidly.
I'll just kind of note that down as Marsh just non-subtly just stares at Holmes and writes something down.
So yeah, seems to, and like it's not deep rapid breaths. It's kind of just like short. Like his chest is kind of moving subtly over time. Yeah. And after a moment, he kind of picks up his coffee, doesn't have it, puts it down. He kind of pushes his plate forward, but then pulls it kind of back, and he seems fidgety. And all of you notice this now. That he's kind of fidgety.
I didn't realize that learning that we had spells was going to be that offsetting for you. Or are you okay?
Of course, I'm not offsetting at all. I've faced greater odds and come out of the victor. In fact, I think, and he's going to stand up and push everything aside. If you'll excuse me, I just got a brain wave, and I have something to attend to. And he's going to book it out of the galley cart.
I'm gonna look over at Neg's like, are you stalking him?
Yeah. For fun, if nothing else. I
Naroke
want to make sure I have some of the miracle pills on me, by the way.
Naroke will scooch out so that Kit can get past and or Nick can get past and pursue our good friend Holmes.
Yeah, surreptitiously.
Surreptitiously. All right. So yeah, you're able to follow him without notice. He's actually not paying attention to anything other than where he's going, and he's briskly walking back to his own cart, his own room. And he opens the door, kind of slams it behind him, and you can hear. Sorry, this is gonna sound gross. It's like grunting. It sounds like he's working out, not in a creepy way. Like he's actually working out, like jumping jacks.
Okay, so he's kind of buzzing with energy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, who's on either side of him in terms of quarters?
Bum, 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 bum,
I'm right beside
bum.
him.
Yes, sorry. So it's Naroke
And
and
then a
then
Hulk.
Bates and then Voorhees.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to slip into Naroke's quarters and do the glass to the wall like eavesdropping.
So as you're doing that, you can definitely hear the sound of someone like jumping and skin slapping. And you can sort of hear him muttering to himself, like, nope, not helping, not helping at all. How do I fix this? What's going on? And then he's gonna say, the doctor will know. And you hear him shuffling and his bedroom door open.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds and then follow surreptitiously again.
Okay. So he will go over to Dr. Lecter's cart. I guess you're all sort of still there from last session. Let me move that around. Not that you really need a map because there's no combat. But Dr. Lecter is indeed here. Whoops, that's not Sherlock. Whatever, Holmes is there, and he's pounding outside of his door, kind of frantically, and there's no response. There's no yes, yes, I'm coming. The door doesn't open. It's just Holmes kind of like fidgeting outside the door, growing increasingly more agitated, knocking a little bit harder, but no one's answering.
Okay, I think by this time I'm going to just saunter up, this mild concern on my face. Holmes, is something wrong?
No, just not feeling great. Too much parsley, I think.
Yeah, notoriously volatile substance, parsley.
Have you seen Dr. Lecter? I need to see
Um,
him.
Not this morning, no. Why? Is this something wrong? Are you sick?
No, not sick. Just not feeling well at the current moment. I'm sure it's nothing.
Okay, listen, there's something that you should probably know, which is that when we use spells to examine the body, we discovered that he had been poisoned.
Poisoned, you say?
Yeah, by apparently Zeta Dry.
Oh, yes, of course. He was an addict.
Yeah. So, like, we think maybe that might have been cause of death. Normally, I wouldn't want to ruin our little game like that, but if you're not feeling well, like, is it possible that the killers realized you're too close?
And at this, he's going to kind of balk back, and his back's going to hit the wall, and he's going to say, it all makes horrifying sense. And then he's gonna run off out of the carts here, back towards the galley cart.
Okay. Yeah, I've wound him up, and I want to watch where he goes, so I'm gonna keep following him.
So Naroke and Marsh, you guys still eating and just chilling out there, waiting for Nick's return. You're alerted to the sound of Holmes briskly coming back in through the doors there. And he looks to be like searching around for someone frantically, and he buzzes by, and then he'll stop at your table and say, have you seen Dr. Lecter? Yes? No?
Not that I'm aware of. Have you checked the kitchen?
No. Why would he be there? The kitchen? Sure, I'll check the kitchens. And then he's going to go past and check there. And he buzzes by.
A couple of seconds later, you see Nick just wander on through, following at a leisurely pace.
I guess I'm just gonna mention to Naroke is like, wonder. I actually am kind of curious where the doctor went. He is kind of whisper our prime suspect.
Huh. Give a kind of look over to Marsh. It's like, we could check the luggage.
Yeah, that's like the only. It's the only like really hiding place. I guess we can take a quick look. Yeah, maybe he's like
Unless he's getting on before he's too.
Oh. Yeah, I'm curious enough. I'll quickly go check the luggage.
Yeah, I'll join Marsh as we go back. to check the luggage to see if
Yeah.
the doctor is
I'll,
there.
I'll stay on Holmes.
So you'll chill out, wait for him to see if he comes back. Marsh and Naroke, as you're going to check the luggage cart, when you're passing through the one section where people sleep, you do hear outside of Myers' room, Dr. Lecter. His loud kind of voice, as he's an orc and it carries, and he's going to say, it should clear up soon. I don't see any cause for concern. Just continue with the drops. You'll be fine.
And
then
this
he
is coming
comes
from
outside.
Myers' room?
This is coming from Myers' room, and then shortly after, Dr. Lecter exits. Oh, hello. Any luck?
We've found some interesting bits that the Bates's miracle pill. What did he intend it to do?
Well, it was to curb Zeta Dry addictions, the withdrawals, the symptoms, to make it easier to get clean.
And how often did Bates take Zeta Dry?
Too often, unfortunately. He was quite the addict, and his pills were not perfect. I think he was on the right track, hence all the testing and experiments and still taking the drugs, but yeah, not perfect yet. The formula hadn't been exactly everything it needed to be.
And pardon my ignorance, I'm not well versed in Zeta Dry. How much does it take to kill a person?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Zeta Dry overdoses are common when laced with other poisons.
What?
That a single drop can kill you, but straight Zeta Dry, I would say in pill form at least 20 or more.
And when it comes to being laced or interacting with other drugs, what kind of drugs would cause it to increase in potency or increase its effect?
Well, common drugs are Black Lagoon. It's often laced with that.
Some drug names on the spot.
And Maiden's Jape.
And those are other harder drugs, I'm guessing, correct?
Well, Maiden's Jape is a form of birth control from a flower that acerbates the effects of Zeta Dry, and Black Lagoon is another kind of poison that's often laced in other drugs, known for its addictive qualities.
With the birth control, how easily does the chemicals from that transfer from one person to another?
So I'm not sure I'm understanding.
If person A is taking it and is intimate with person B, how much of those chemicals may transfer through oral contact of some sorts?
I'm not sure I know. I've never done tests. I don't think that's ever been tested before. I can't imagine much. You do chew on the leaves, so it makes sense that perhaps some of the drug would still be in the mouth at the time. But I can't imagine any amount that would be detrimental. I really can't say, though. Interesting.
And you've worked with Bates and Myers for quite some time.
Yes.
What is their relation?
Well, they're partners, but I can't imagine that's what you're asking.
No. Their personal relations with each other.
Well, they've been the best of friends for over 20 years since they started Kruger and Sons. Bates has the chemical know-how, the talent, and Myers is more of the face, the seller. Together, they've done very well for pushing their medical concoctions and potions to help people.
Have they... Were they both taking Zeta Dry?
No, just Bates. He looks pretty sad about that.
And
Myers knows better than to touch that stuff.
And I don't suppose, like, this is probably a bit of a left field question, but do you know where a will would be kept for in the event of Bates's death?
Bates's will would, I imagine, be at his estate.
Though if a new will was being drafted, where would that be kept?
His estate, I imagine, unless he was currently drafting it immediately on the train, if that's what you're asking, but I don't believe he was. I don't think it was something he would have kept with him.
Oh, right. And Myers is okay. I'm sorry, we had overheard as we were coming down the hall that something should clear up.
Oh, runny sinuses, itchy eyes. It's just allergies to something on the train.
Oh, really?
Yes. He's being a bit of a baby.
It's the triathlete flowers in Marsh's bag.
No, he's allergic to fur, and like he's allergic to like animals, and he wore a wolf pelt to go and kill Bates, and so he's still suffering from the after effects.
If he's allergic to animal dander and he wore the wolf pelt, that would set him off.
It would. Well, thank you very much for your time. Can turn to Marsh. Do you have any other questions?
No, I am good, thank you.
I told Miles to stay away from Mavis's room, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, Mavis is the one who has all the animals.
I would still like to see that.
Do we want to go and investigate Mavis's room? But Nick, what is the situation with Holmes?
Yeah, how's Holmes doing?
Yeah, so when you, I imagine you're not going into the kitchens, you're just kind of waiting, because there's not too many places to go other than...
I'll hang out at the door to keep an eye on what's happening in there.
Totally. So before you see anything, you hear like pots and pans being thrown about as he's just rifling through, and he's like, I need tea, I need to calm down, I need tea. And the ladies are like throwing shit at him, trying to be like, the tea is outside, like, get out of here. So yeah, his search for Dr. Lecter seems to have been sidetracked with now his desperate need for tea.
Yeah.
Time to give him one of the pills. It's like, say that you ran to Dr. Lecter and be like, it's like he said, it's like, take one of these, you should be fine.
Yeah, actually, I am gonna do that. I'm gonna take one of the little white miracle pills and wander over to Holmes and be like, "Hey, I managed to find Dr. Lecter. I told him about how you're feeling."
What did he say? Where is he?
He said he's off taking care of somebody else, but he said it sounded like Zeta Dry, and he said that if that's the case, then one of these might be able to clear it up. It's harmless if it isn't Zeta Dry, but...
And he's gonna kind of shaky reach out for it.
I will hand him the pill.
And when you take it, he'll say, like, I need tea! Another, like, pot flies at his head, and he ducks. As the cooks say, I told you it's in that damn room, get out!
I will dip out and grab some tea.
Yeah. So in the end, Holmes will swallow the pill, down it with some tea there, and he's
Incredibly hot tea.
Yeah,
Doesn't
takes the
even
pill,
notice.
just grabs his cup.
It doesn't even matter that his mouth is scalded. He'll sit at the table, kind of with his head down on it, his hands wrapped around the cup, and just trying to like calm his breathing.
Okay, I will keep an eye on him to see if the pills are having any effect.
Is he back in the like the main
Galley.
Part? Okay.
Yeah, like where everyone's eating and stuff, and like he's caused enough of a ruckus that people that are there eating are kind of like giving him weird looks because the poised detective is not acting so poised.
That'll be handy for later.
Yes, that's true. He's off to lunch. Can't trust a word he says.
Actually, while he's waiting for the pills to take effect, Naroke's going to kind of head back towards the galley as well, and kind of sit down at the table with, because I'm assuming that Nick is at the same table as him.
Yeah, I'm sitting with him.
Naroke's going to sit down with them as well, and just like, you doing all right, man?
Gee, he's going to say. He's still not looking up at you, heads down at the table. His breathing has slowed a little bit, and it's rather than like the really short breaths, it's just deeper breaths that are kind of rocking his whole body. Yeah, just so he seems to be coming down, and his breathing better. He's breathing better. Peachy.
I was just warning Mr. Holmes that we determined that the victim was poisoned by Zeta Dry, and if Mr. Holmes is also feeling the effects of Zeta Dry use, then the killer may have realized he was getting too close.
Okay, good.
You rolled intelligence? Ooh,
Yeah.
Good. 18.
See how good Naroke is at playing along.
Well, it's not even to see how good Naroke is at playing along, but seeing if Naroke remembers that we are the ones that just gave him Zeta Dry. It's like, wait, are we in danger now too? Shit.
Awesome.
But no, Naroke got good at his intelligence, he remembers.
I don't know how long I'm going to need. The bet still stands, of course, but I think I'm going to take it easy for today.
Probably a good idea. You're probably so far ahead of us anyway, even with all the spell work we've been doing.
Yes, I'm not worried. Well, I'm worried for me, and my health, not for you, this investigation.
That's fair. Though, since you are leagues ahead of us, what do you feel is the most important clue you've come across? Considering he's on drugs and may not be thinking clearly, he may just give us the info.
Fucking hell. You know what? That's a good point. All right, let's roll for this.
We're very mean. We're not good people.
No, I love it. Give me 1 second, because I think I want this to be a public roll.
Would this be my persuasion versus his something?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it that way. Give me a persuasion.
And do I get advantage on this on account of the fact that he is? I guess.
If Dominic is assisting.
Actually, let me.
22.
22.
Stop trying to steal my pen.
All right, you're gonna get to see the roll. You don't get to know what his modifier is because I'm not divulging his character sheet that I have made up.
That's fine.
Shit.
I don't care what kind of modifier on that. If he beats mine, then we've got another problem.
No,
Yeah.
there's no
By any
modifier.
chance, does he have a plus 21?
There's no modifier on Earth.
Yeah, you'd have to have a plus 20 to beat me.
Fuck, how do I... Sorry, I don't want to, like, give it away.
But it has to be obvious, while also he doesn't think that it's obvious, but also he's on drugs.
Yeah, so, like, you guys are going to get something big out of this, but I don't want to just be like, blah, 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 case over.
The biggest clue is the fact that this person did it.
Yeah. How did I just tell you?
Well, that being said, you have to take into consideration the fact that he hasn't necessarily solved the case at this point either. So
It's
what
true.
is his biggest lead clue at this point when he's still got, was it 3 days out, 4 days out?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. So, his biggest lead... how is he going to word this in a, like, annoyingly poetic way?
While also being on drugs.
While also being on drugs.
He's just going to give it to us in the form of haiku.
Yeah, not quite a haiku. Well,
Anglo-Saxon alliterative poetry.
I will say this. Someone is in danger of drowning in crocodile tears.
Okay.
Myers was the one who was crying the most. I say as Kit the person to Giggle the person, and Tom the person.
No,
Hey. To respond to that, Myers is the son, right?
No, Myers is the
The
business
partner.
partner.
Norman's the son.
Okay.
Although Norman was crying a lot,
Yeah.
I believe, Marsh, you noticed him.
Yeah, my mind immediately went to the son, actually.
There were 2 crybabies on the train.
There were 2 crybabies, but the son was a crybaby in private. Myers was a crybaby in public.
That being said, we should probably find out the fuck are crocodile tears outside of, like, you know, trying to get a crocodile to actually cry.
Thanks, Naroke.
Thanks, Naroke.
Wait a second.
Does Mavis have a crocodile?
Does Mavis have a crocodile, or a crocodile tears a drug? Is it a whatchamacallit? A crocodile tears just a euphemism for, like, debt?
The crocodile tears are a euphemism for fake crying. Sorry, I thought we were on the same page there. Crocodile tears mean that you're making a big emotional to-do, but you don't actually care that much.
Okay, yes, I've never heard the term crocodile tears before, so for me as a person, no clue.
It's a very old-timey
so.
phrase.
Yeah,
it's an old-timey phrase.
Naroke would straight up think that he was talking legitimate crocodile tears.
Yeah, he would.
Human Aaron was thinking it's like, it's reference for another drug. Awesome.
Good. Well, that's great, because I was trying to make it not obvious.
So that went over Naroke's head, and now he thinks that crocodile tears might be another kind of drug.
Uh-huh.
Which, for all we know in this universe, crocodile tears are a kind of drug.
That would have been a great name. I wish I
The
could.
crocodiles in this universe are fucked up.
Marsh needs to investigate this.
Yeah, they are super hallucinatory.
Oh, it's way better than Maiden's Jape. Damn it.
I do like the idea of a birth control drug called Maiden's Jape. It's just there's layers to it.
Crocodile tears. Pocket that one away. Alright. So, Holmes doesn't seem super chatty as he's kind of coming down, returning to normal. And if you stay with him, he will eventually, like, excuse himself and go to his cart if you're following him. Like his room.
I'll follow surreptitiously just to make sure that his room is where he goes.
Okay. Yeah, like 10 minutes after the whole interaction, he does indeed go back to his room, tea kind of in hand. He's a little shaky on his feet, but he gets there, doesn't notice you, closes the door. You don't hear any grunting or jumping.
He's probably asleep.
Get just a low snore.
He's just sleeping it off. We're bad people.
We drugged the detective for no reason.
Well, I mean,
not at all for no reason.
Several reasons.
Okay,
At
We
least
had many
two of
reasons,
them.
some of which were good.
eating parsley.
We drugged him for spite. We drugged him to see what would happen. We drugged him to see if the methadone pills worked, and we drugged him to get information out of it. That's like 4 reasons.
That's true. You technically got a lot out of this whole circle.
We did.
Though I'm pretty sure we're certain on the side effects of Zeta Dry by now.
Yeah, we definitely now know what Zeta Dry does to a person, and it's not good. Do coke, live forever.
So, this is kind of more Tom than Marsh. I'm kind of jumping ahead, so it's like, if the doctor didn't do it, did someone go and borrow the doctor's animal cloak to do the deed? Because I remember the doctor said he explicitly got that. He didn't like lend that out, or someone didn't give it to him. So like,
He purchased it from Silent Bob.
He purchased it from Silent Bob. That does not mean it was in his possession the entirety of last night.
Yeah,
Myers is allergic to animal
Yeah, we should go and chat with Myers again, because if Myers is suddenly having an allergic reaction, we should probably find out, what is he allergic to, and if he's allergic to animals and stuff like that, maybe at some point, I don't know, abduct the pelt and just walk up and just pillow fight to the face with a wolf pelt.
Yeah.
See if
DM. Are chickens hypoallergenic?
Give me a
Do
sec.
chickens have dander? I need to know. It's relevant.
Chickens generate dust. Poultry dust is comprised of dander, dead skin, feathers, litter, and bird droppings. They do. Yes.
Okay. So the chickens do produce dander. So there's a possibility that he was reacting to the chickens. I still think it was a wolf pelt. Or even the other pelts that Silent Bob has.
many pelts.
Yeah, you should go and sass Myers.
Yeah, Myers doesn't think we're onto him, so I think we can keep working that angle for now.
Oh, that was weird.
I guess, yeah, maybe we could, I don't know, before or after, quickly check out his room, see if there's any of the fur in there.
Good idea. Maybe I should distract him and offer to get him some breakfast while you guys rifle the room.
Yeah.
Or, we could all just, go into his room, sit there and chat with him, and while people are chatting, make our looks around the room, see if we spot anything. And if we don't come up with anything at that point, then have someone lead him away.
This is true.
Okay.
You've come to his chambers. He is there. You hear a loud sneeze on the other side of the door.
Gazoon.
Oh.
No response.
Actually, before we jump on in, what was the connection between Myers and the will again? Did he have a connection to the will?
There was no connection. He owns half of Kruger and Sons, and upon Bates's death, Norman, his son, would get the other half. But he is not in Myers' will at all. There's nothing. He doesn't stand to gain anything of Myers' possessions, or sorry, he doesn't stand to gain anything of Bates' possessions, rather.
However, if now, kind of just running with other angles here, so Myers owns half of Kruger and Sons.
Correct.
Bates dies, which means Norman then gets the other half of Kruger and Sons.
Correct. All its assets.
If Norman is just a second.
Oh, bad kitty. Sorry.
Stitches.
Yeah.
Stitches.
No drinking milk. I assume it's milk.
I don't know what's in Ian's bowl, but
Yes. Keep it away from
Put
Kitty.
that over there, so it's out of Kitty's range of access.
She was caught on stream. She can be prosecuted.
Prosecuted in
Kitty
the course.
law.
Yep.
Kitty law.
Part of paw.
Okay, so we've got Myers owns half of Kruger and Sons. Bates had the other half, and when Bates died, his half was going to go to Norman. However, if Norman is tried for murder, his half of the company may be considered forfeit. Because, killing someone to take over their position, unless you're in ancient Rome where you assassinate the emperor
Slayer
and take over
principle.
his role, you're going to kind of lose your position.
Yeah,
Which
Slayer
then would
principle.
mean-
If you're the beneficiary of a will, but you were the murderer, you don't get the
Which
assets.
means his half would then also go to Myers, which means Myers would then own 100% of Kruger and Sons.
The only thing is, though, is I don't think there's been much groundwork so far for Norman being framed for this murder. There hasn't been a ton of...
Well, Myers Myers had said already that he thinks that Norman did it.
Myers did point the finger at Norman.
Yeah, he pointed a finger at Norman, saying that he had the most to gain.
And I guess like the whole thing with the will, maybe
That Voorhees was removed from the will. The whole will was going to be going to Norman. If that was things that Myers had convinced Bates to go along with, Voorhees shouldn't get it. You should all give it all to Norman, because if some of it went to Voorhees and Norman was found as the murderer, the remaining amount would then go to Voorhees. So if she's been cut completely from the will, then the entirety of Kruger and Sons then goes to Myers, which means Myers goes from having half the company to the entirety of a massive company and all of its assets. Which means Myers has the most to gain by framing someone else for the murder.
This is true. We just have to find evidence that he is actually working to frame someone for the murder, because that's the one thing that we don't have evidence for at this point.
Yeah, right now we just have the fact that he's pointing.
He's pointing the finger at Norman.
However, it'd be worthwhile rechecking with Myers as to what had happened the night of, like what he had been doing, because if Myers and Bates had been, having dinner or whatnot, and he may have added more Zeta Dry to whatever Norman or whatever Bates is taking, or may have laced something that he had with more Zeta Dry to get that to occur.
Yeah, the only thing is though is like the one thing I'm kind of confused about.
I got a note that I'm trying to remember that might be important.
Which one?
Okay, hang on.
About what? We know that.
Okay, so first off, we know that there was a loud fight in the sleeping car between the victim and his son.
Yep.
But I seem to recall we had a note where Myers and Norman switched quarters.
Yeah, Norman and Myers swapped. Norman swapped rooms with Myers because he wanted to be further away from his father.
Yeah, that swapping quarters. That's just sticking in my head. I feel like it's important.
Kind of what I was kind of curious about though is I'm still kind of really confused about the cause of death, because like even if like you slip a little bit of Zeta Dry to someone, we've learned from the doctor that you need a whole ton to actually kill someone. We didn't detect any other poisons.
Yes, but at the same time, we still have the whole aspect of if Myers and Bates were perhaps like sitting there and spending time with each other before heading off for the night, and Myers may have given him more, or may have also been able to give Bates Zeta Dry while he was like going into his room dressed as the werewolf. Like,
also, there's a thing that happens sometimes with recovering heroin addicts, where when you're taking heroin, your tolerance builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, and then you quit, and then you're off it for a while, and then you relapse, but your tolerance is dropped back down, but you're taking the same amount that you were right before you quit, and that's where a lot of heroin overdoses happen.
Which, if he's been using the synthetic anti-Zeta Dry for a bit to try and
his tolerance may have
dropped.
His tolerance may have dropped significantly, in which case it would not take as much to kill him as it would for an active addict.
Marsh just kind of thinks more about it.
It's definitely not we've cracked the case, but it's definitely something worth investigating, especially the crocodile thing.
We're now in front of the corkboard with a lot of photos and notes and things connected with red string. It's all connected.
Well, yeah, I really think we're zeroing in on the suspect, because I think it's all kind of starting to come together now. I'm just like, ugh.
It's all coming together.
In the center of that corkboard be his houseplant with a big.
It was just a cactus did it.
It's a sticky note.
That's cactus with a sticky note with 3 question marks on it.
And it's just like he needs to talk, says one of the sticky.
What does it know?
Alright, anyways.
Cactus overwatered, now dead. Someone needs to be tried for the murder of the cactus.
Okay. So do you guys want to check out Myers? What's your
let's
current
go.
plan?
We're outside Myers' room right now, so we might
Right,
as well go
yes.
and harass Myers.
Sorry, that's very correct.
Stitches.
Hope springs eternal for Stitches.
She's so cute. I don't know what my kitties are. Kitty, look at her face.
Harvey Dent cat.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, perfect kitty. Just tell
I'm
her
thoroughly
it's-
impressed that your cats let you manhandle them like that.
I've been manhandling them like this since I got them, so they've become very accustomed to it.
Very smart. Oh, she's so perfect. Oh, I want to cry. Skittles! No time. I want my cat to come now. Kitty envy. Anyways, how are you going to approach?
Well, we just heard him
this?
sneeze. Naroke's gonna gazoon tight,
Right.
right outside the door.
There was no response to your gazoon type.
Naroke's gonna then knock on the door.
Okay. So when the door opens after a moment, you see a red-eyed Myers who's got like a kind of a hanky, and he's dabbing at his watering eyes. And oh yes, the detectives. How can I help you?
We just wanted to check in. We heard that you were ill.
Oh, not ill. Just those damn chickens. A bit of an allergy. Nothing to worry about.
I heard that one of the cooks has a bunch of chickens in her room. That's impressive, unsanitary. I can't decide which.
Yes, and she's a cook
Yes.
for us all. Thank God for Madame Voorhees. Ugh.
Though, if Voorhees is the one doing the cooking for the Kruger and Sons crew, why would you have been in Mavis's room to be close enough to the chickens to be getting an allergic reaction?
I was just wandering about the carts, trying to pass the time, to keep my mind off of poor Bates. I happened to wander by one of the cook's rooms when she was coming out, and a chicken attacked me.
Oh dear.
Yes, quite
Can I
frightful.
insight him on that?
Absolutely, you
Why?
can. Insight away.
12.
12. Is any Marsh, Nick? You guys want to get in on that?
Insight? Yeah, hang on. I was busy killing a fly.
That's fair. That's important.
Fly
I'm not
boy
good
da.
at this, but
16.
16. Okay.
Was he in fact
so
attacked by chicken?
Marsh and Naroke, you guys are like, yeah, he is indeed a gross, sneezing, oozing mess. And Dominic, there was indeed no chicken attack. Yeah. His allergy seemed legit, and it feasibly could have been from a chicken. And you
He
hear
did
that
not
there
get
are
attacked by a chicken.
No.
He's lying, and he has no reason to lie except for the fact that, like, he was doing something he shouldn't have. Okay, well, you know, I've heard that they can be really vicious, especially the roosters with the spurs.
Yeah, I don't like animals much. I don't want to know anything about them.
What is it about the animals you're allergic to?
Fur, scratches, the eyes. I don't know, the whole thing, I guess.
Marsh is gonna do a perception check
just-
for the fur.
Out of question, he thinks it's possible to be allergic to animal eyes?
Yeah.
Maybe like their tears?
Crocodile.
Yeah, check the crocodiles.
Uh,
Sorry, what were you checking out for, Tom?
I'm gonna look for that fur, specifically for that pelt.
Oh, for sure. So are you trying to check on him or in behind him into his room?
I'm gonna kind of like check a little bit on his room. I just kind of feel like maybe some caught on him when he wore it, and then he kind of like took it off in here. So maybe some of it's in here.
Totally. From what you can see into his room, he's not being super imposing in the doorway, but you can't perfectly see inside because he is in fact in the doorway. You don't see any fur. Nothing is standing out.
Sorry, for some reason I pictured we just walked into his room during this conversation.
Naroke was about
no.
to. Naroke was going to be like, do you mind if we come and sit down and chat? We have a couple things that we're kind of curious about that. Since you knew Bates so well, you may be able to help clear us up on.
Of course, anything to clear the air and get to the bottom of it all. Excuse my state. He's gonna blow his nose and.
Completely understandable. Chickens are awful. Delicious.
So. It's quite true. The only good chicken is a dead chicken. And he'll sit on the bed and just look at you guys expectantly.
Yeah, and I'll come in and sit down on the bench or couch or whatever the heck else is in there.
So then, Marsh, I'll say that 14 then works for the room since you guys were going to go in. My apologies. There's no fur. There's no tufts of fur like you found in Bates' room. Nothing is jumping out as in like this is similar to the werewolf pelt.
Okay. I'll just kind of like quietly just I'll while this conversation is happening, I'll still kind of like stare at the room, but I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm just kind of like seeing what I see.
For sure.
So, do we want to bring up to him that because he didn't tell us that he and Bates were working with Zeta Dry, but we found that out later, and I'm wondering if we want to bring that up to him.
Rather than being the like, so I hear you two are dealing Zeta Dry, because for all we know, that was just Bates's stash of this is all the stuff I'm taking that I'm going to be doing on the train, and then I'll get more when I get to my destination.
Yeah, he did say that it belonged to himself and Myers.
And Myers, yeah. I think our better line of question would probably be asking him about what, like, how much Zeta he knows about Bates taking Zeta Dry, how much had he been taking, stuff like that, things that he may not have disclosed to the doctor. Okay.
So I'll look very serious, like I'm imparting bad news, and be like, it's recently come to our attention that the victim was addicted to Zeta Dry.
So he doesn't flinch when you tell him this, and he'll just kind of slowly nod and sigh and say, yes, a bit of a blight on our reputation. Luckily, that's not public news, and I hope I can rely on your discretion.
Oh, of course, of course. If it's not pertinent to how he died, then nobody needs to know about it, really.
Exactly.
Can I insight check when I said when it's not pertinent to how he died?
Yeah, for sure. $21. So there is like instant relief. Like there is like a sigh of relief coming from him.
So so what we're seeing here is relief that he thinks we don't know that Zeta Dry was pertinent to the death. Possibly.
Or potentially just relief that because we don't think that it was related to the death, that we have no intention of like, hey, by the way, one of the owners of Kruger and Sons was hooked on Zeta Dry, this highly illegal drug.
Yeah. Can I tell which it is?
You are super quiet now, Mal.
Really interesting.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Okay, must have been that. If he seems relaxed or happy about the way that transaction kind of went, it's because it looks like you have your own conclusions about how he maybe passed on, and he's satisfied with where your mind's going with that.
Okay, intriguing.
So you had asked about so any other questions?
Let's see. I think kind of Marsh would Marsh find a good way to put this question.
I kind of want to push him. I kind of want to push him more on Norman.
Yeah,
see if we lead him down the path of shit talking Norman. How enthusiastically he goes down that way.
It might also be worthwhile asking if Norman is found to be the murderer, what happens to his half of the company?
That's basically what Marsh wanted to ask, but I didn't. Marsh was just basically being, it's like, how do I say this without like seeming super like we're incriminating him at all?
No, I think I do know how to phrase this though.
Okay.
Aaron
So,
as a player knows how, but Naroke definitely would not.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Myers. A lot of our information is pointing right at the sun, with the will and everything. And I was wondering if Norman is found guilty of his father's murder and he was the beneficiary in the will, what happens to his father's estate?
Well, as per the will, as I've seen it and as I know it, it all goes to him. Of course, rewritten when Morgan died, his late wife. He gets the house, he gets half of Kruger and Sons ownership, and can dictate, the fate of the company, unfortunately. And
Even if he's found guilty of his father's murder?
well, I suppose. Sad to say it, but I think it would go to me.
Well, small blessings, I guess.
I suppose.
Not much compensation for losing your business partner, but
No, not at all.
can I get an insight
Voorhees.
check on that?
Yeah, for sure. Voorhees was definitely not in the will.
Yeah, we heard that she was rather irate about that. Oh God, it's a
9.
It's a 9.
Yeah.
And I want to actually incite something that had been said slightly earlier when Nick had said most of the evidence we found is pointing directly at Norman. Can I insight check what his reaction is?
Yeah, why not?
23.
Oh. So his face didn't really give off anything. But when you said it, he kind of crossed his arms and leaned back into the pillows of his bed.
He's just like, I'm safe.
Or he's sleepy.
Or he's sleepy. One of those two things.
I mean, allergies do tend to kick the level of energy out of a person, so.
And so for the 9 on the inside check, you're not really getting a read off of when he kind of says how, when you were saying how sad that is, just sort of agrees with you. Yeah.
But yeah, we heard Ms. Voorhees was quite upset about the fact that she was cut out of the will.
Correct. I believe that's what started the affair, to be honest. That Norman is a vile individual.
Out of curiosity, what does Norman stand to gain outside of, a random romp with banging his father's wife?
Just that.
Mistress.
A random romp, as you so eloquently put it. They claim love. I believe Voorhees had grown distant from Bates, and rather than cutting it off, I imagine she liked the paycheck, found comfort in the arms of his son.
Well, I mean, a steady paycheck is a shameful thing to lose, so.
I suppose. And she could be a damn good cook when she wasn't, well,
Trying to poison people with rat poison. Yeah.
Yes. But you are correct. She was quite annoyed. And, it wouldn't surprise me if that also spurred her growing closer to Norman, since everything was being left to him. And if you're the new lover, that's all speculation, of course. I'm not saying one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It also seems a bit more cunning than she has capable.
Out of curiosity, the night that Bates had passed away, had you and Bates spent time together that night?
We chatted for a moment. He was a bit out of sorts, kind of running around, Lecter chasing him, the big fight with his son. He wasn't in much of a mood for visitors, but we did talk about plans once we reach our destination.
Do you know how much Zeta Dry that he had been taking.
I'm afraid I don't keep tabs on his addiction anymore.
That's
Or didn't, rather.
that's
I imagine more so than normal, since he would have been stressed about where we were going.
yeah,
The
the
werewolves, the spookums.
werewolves,
So-
leprechauns, vampires, the normal sort.
Leprechauns. I could imagine he had taken more to compensate for any discomfort he was feeling, more than usual. It wouldn't surprise me.
That's
Which is why Lecter was so on him about keeping up with his heart medication.
So did Bates primarily just procure or produce Zeta Dry to consume, or was he also dealing?
I believe it was just for his own personal studies.
With him trying to find a countermeasure for the addiction, that does make sense.
Yes, of course.
Do we have any other questions that we want to ask Myers right now?
Hang on, I'm going through my notes. Can I do a Ocean's 11 crime movie flashback? Just because I have a mean idea.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Which is before we came to talk to Myers, can I have gone to my fox fur in my cabin and like really rubbed my hand in the fur? And then as we're getting up to leave, shake hands with Myers and see what happens.
Yeah, I'd allow it.
Yeah, maybe put my hand on his shoulder, like really near his face, and be like, "Don't worry, we're gonna find who's responsible for this."
And while you're keeping him distracted with the now fox-furred hand, Naroke is going to do a perception check to see if he can spot any tufts of fur or anything like that, or like any fur from the wolf pelt floating around the room.
Sure. Yes, roll me that perception check.
Perfectly average on both sides.
Like Marsh, you do not see any fur, no loose, tiny gray hairs floating around. Seems to be squeaky clean. You don't even see any on his person.
I'm currently super fixated on the plant in his room, and it's like, if only we had figured this out sooner.
Would crack the code.
Crack the code. Man. Never even thought of that route. So as you kind of give him the consoling sort of pat down and stuff, and I would say there's a fair bit of like kind of shoulder collar or whatever exposed based on the suit he's wearing. You can get a good feel on that as well. And you notice the skin immediately start to go red where your hand was.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of seems a little uncomfortable and scratches after your hand goes away. And when after he's done scratching, there's welts.
Intriguing.
Yes. And he's going to say, I, of course, don't want to kick you out. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer, but I'm not feeling well.
That is
of
perfectly
course.
understandable. Please do rest up. You've got a long journey ahead of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care, detectives. Blow his nose and yeah.
Okay, we'll
Lightly
clear
usher
out.
you out.
When he was scratching, did I notice welts anywhere else on him?
Roll me a perception check.
Come on. Come on, dice, be nice to me. Dirty 20. Thank you, dice.
Nice.
Dirty 20. Yeah, he had some rash on his one hand that he was scratching with.
Intriguing. Okay, so we shall regroup back at our own rooms and huddle.
All right,
Sure.
huddle with the plant.
Oh no.
I turned the plant to face the other way.
I was
There
gonna
we
say, be
go.
careful.
It knows too
I realize
much.
turning the plant to face the other way does absolutely nothing, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah, it has a flower that's pointing like in towards the room, so you've turned the flower, not pointing the window. So we should probably talk to the cook about keeping those chickens a little tighter on range, so they're not attacking the passengers.
Oh, there was no chicken attack. He was lying through his teeth. Yeah. So either he's having an affair with the cook who has the chickens, or he was possibly wearing a wolf pelt the night of the murder. Especially since I made sure to rub my hand in fox dander and I saw that he had welts from other animal dander on his wrist.
It's kind of strange how he completely removed all furs from the previous pelt, but maybe just because of the allergies, he was just extra meticulous about it.
Or maybe the pelt was never in his room. If he took it from Dr. Lecter's room and put it right back there, never brought it into his room.
Yeah, I was
Actually,
was thinking about that.
If that's the case, I'm wondering if we should go and talk to Silent Bob. Well, talk at Silent Bob.
Yes. We should probably ask him if anybody else on the train has bought furs from him.
Well, specifically seeing if perhaps Myers had bought a pelt only to return it because, oh no, I'm actually allergic. We should also probably find out when the doctor bought his pelt.
Good idea. I have a plan formulating in my head for a parlor scene, but I don't think we're quite there yet. It does involve Zone of Truth though, so keep that on the 3rd level spell.
Zone of Truth is a 2nd level spell, so we're fine there.
Oh, damn it.
I have 3. Right, today I have 3 more 1st level spells, 3 more 2nd level spells, and 1 more 3rd level spell. So I can still cast Glyph of Warding somewhere and Explosive Runes.
Please don't. I forgot all about Zone of Truth, to be honest.
Yeah, we've got Zone of Truth, and
The trick about Zone of Truth is that people know they're under Zone of Truth.
Yes.
But my thought is this. If we stage a mock trial under the pretense of questioning Norman, but we fling a question at Myers, like during the whole process, and make sure that he is also affected by the spell, might be able to get the truth out of him.
well, and the
Without him suspecting that that's what we're going to try and do.
The thing with
Because
Zone of Truth as well,
if he's lying, he's not going to agree to Zone of Truth spell, and people are aware of when they're under Zone of Truth, right?
people are aware of when they're under Zone of Truth, and we know when each creature succeeds or fails their saving throw. So if we have them like willingly fail the saving throw, essentially, because you can choose to fail a saving throw, then we could do that. But an affected creature of the spell is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which you would normally respond with a lie. So I'm wondering if, because you can't lie while you're in it, if that would, if you were to just like blurt a response like, I actually killed him, like I think it's probably like it like inhibits you from saying it.
Yeah, I'm mostly thinking of the trial scenes from Legally Blonde, where he manages to get like someone going in a series of automatic responses and then follows it up with, and your boyfriend's name is, he just immediately responds Chuck.
Yeah.
And then has to backpedal and immediately pisses off his boyfriend, who storms out of the courtroom.
I do remember that scene.
Yeah, I'm hoping we might be able to pull off some, on top of our murder mystery shenanigans, we might be able to pull off some courtroom drama shenanigans. But it's just the vaguest idea of a plan in my head right now. I don't think we have enough to go on yet.
Yeah, and it lasts for 10 minutes, so it'd have to be a quick trial, or I have multiple chances of blowing up the train.
It would be really funny if we're about to have a big dramatic trial scene and then you roll the wild magic surge that plants a fireball at your feet and it all becomes
Fireballs
a
at feet.
point.
All the suspects are now dead. It's like, well, I mean, we got the killer.
We solved the problem and caused several more problems.
This murderer will not live for another day.
And then you guys
Justice
get
has
to
been served.
you get to play the characters that come to the wreckage trying to solve what happened here.
Oh, jeez. Why
Well,
is
we're
there
high enough
drugs?
level we'd probably live, but
That's true.
all these commoners on the train will definitely die.
Right.
Everyone's got like 5 hit points.
Him. All right. Any more thoughts in your huddle? Like, you're not going to zone of truth
No, we're not zone of truthing anybody yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to figure out more about the pelt. Yeah, we could
Silent Bob.
ask Silent Bob. Honestly, like, if the doctor's not in on it, we could just straight up like ask him. It's like, hey, did anyone borrow your pelt the other night? I think that would be an option.
Yeah, actually, the more we do this, the more I'm not liking the doctor for this.
Not liking, as in like you don't think he's
As in, I
suspect?
don't think he did it.
Yeah, especially for like how much he cared about making sure that the victim got like his medicine and stuff. Like, I don't think that was just to like keep face. Like, I think legitimately he probably didn't want him to die.
Well, of course he didn't, because if his family is on the line, essentially his job was like keep him alive, because if he went and killed him, then his family was in jeopardy, and he had 2 years left on his contract before he could go back to his family. If you've already gone through 7 years out of your 9-year contract, why
At this
off
point,
your
he's got
boss in
more
the
to
last 2
lose.
years and potentially have your family killed off or whatever, than just enduring those final 2 years. That being said, it's still the kind of situation where like Myers has a lot to gain, Norman has a lot to gain, the doctor has a lot to lose. We should probably still go and actually do a proper interrogation of what's his name? Do you want to play a game, guy?
Oh, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw, that's the one.
Jigsaw.
Yeah, everything is a red heading, and Jigsaw did it.
Yeah, everything else is like he's just been like, oh yeah, I'm so sad about him dying. These are my crocodile tears.
Oh yeah, he was very weirdly morbid. You know, oh, what did him in? Look at that. He seemed amused by it all, for sure.
I mean, if someone I hated was murdered, I can't say that my reaction would be much different.
That's fair.
So who's first? Doctor, Silent Bob, Jigsaw.
I think we're going to check in with Silent Bob.
Yeah, because Silent Bob is the least inclined to, tell us a lie. Mainly because he can't speak.
You can, of course, split up. So if Marsh wanted to go to the doctor or whatever, however you want.
Yeah, it'll be really quick. I'll just quickly get that over with.
That being said, can we take a quick break?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, time has flown by. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break here, and then we will come back in 10 minutes. Go figure.
Okay. Boop. We are live again.
Hooray! So when we last left our intrepid anti-heroes...
We are very heroic. We haven't murdered too many... We have yet to directly murder anyone.
We have not yet directly murdered anyone. We have been responsible, ultimately, for many deaths. But we have not murdered anyone.
Your hands are clean in a weird way.
Actually, technically, we're not even responsible for that many deaths. Just, 2.
Yeah, you even went out of your way to save Adeladia. You could have just left, as a tree.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we'll see how that plays out. So, you're going... were you going to get the doctor out of the way first, then Silent Bob?
I think so, yeah.
All right, Marsh.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't remember what you wanted to ask.
I'm just asking about the pelt, but I might also ask a couple more questions about the body.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just go up to the doctor's room. And yeah,
Um,
knock.
he is indeed there. He responds and says, "Oh, hello."
Hello, a couple more questions, investigation and such, if you've got some time.
Of course, I always have time for the detectives. Of course, I
Um,
haven't seen Holmes around lately. Bit strange.
oh, I think he's taking a nap. He seemed to burn a lot of energy recently. Anywho, uh, so, uh, I apologize. This is gonna seem like a bit of a strange question, but that pelt. Have you let that pelt out to anyone? Has it always been there?
What? No, I bought it from Silent Bob upon boarding the Eyes and Bolt. So the day yesterday. Was it yesterday? Oh no.
2 days ago.
Anyways, 2 days ago.
Was it
2
before
days
or
ago,
after?
we boarded the
It was
train.
like, yeah.
Was it before or after Bates died?
It was before. So yeah, before like Bates died.
So 2 days ago.
I purchased it, and it's been in my room the entire time.
Does anyone have like access to your room per se, or
In a manner of speaking, I don't often keep the door locked. Sometimes, but I kind of forget. So I suppose people had access to it. It hasn't always been in my sights, if that's kind of what you want to know.
I guess I'll just kind of like I kind of say it's like, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go a bit closer and like see. It's like hanged up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hanging currently.
Does it seem? I don't know. Think I'll get much out of this, but I'm just gonna give it a shot. I'm just gonna see if it seems like it's been like disturbed or something, or it's not hanging up quite right. So I'll just do a perception check.
Conveniently identifiable cufflink stuck to it, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just giving it a very yeah, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
16 on perception.
Yeah, so with the 16, I'll say it looks disheveled on the hanger for sure. Like rather than hanging through kind of the wire neatly, it's a bit askew. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but you'd think that someone that, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that can mean anything. I guess I won't dig about the pelt much longer. So yeah, after Marsh just kind of stares at it for a little bit, Marsh just kind of like immediately turns to the doctor. It's like, oh, one more question. You said the victim died of a heart attack, didn't you?
Correct. That was the underlying cause of Bates' passing.
Did you find any symptoms of, well, I mean, we all know Bates's condition, but any symptoms of recent Zeta dry consumption?
I suppose I shouldn't hide things from detectives, but yes, he was having a bit of a bout when we boarded the train and attempting to get his hands on more. And even though I tried to coax him back, I believe he found it in the end. I think he took quite a bit.
Would you say he would have maybe taken a large enough amount for a heart attack?
For a normal person, perhaps. His tolerance has grown quite high in the years. And with the help of his own formula he's working on, I imagine it would curtail some of the side effects. I don't think the drugs are the cause of death, if that's what you're asking.
But would you think this like heart attack was relatively natural? Like maybe stress, or I don't want to say a scary person wearing a hood. I don't say that in character, but like, do you think the heart attack was purely natural then, if it wasn't because of the Zeta dry?
I think quite so, natural. He was going to lands that made him very uncomfortable, had already worked himself up in a bit of a tizzy about where we were going. spending an awful lot of money.
Complete hypothetical here. If I were to, let's say, put on a werewolf cloak and sneak
Let's
into his
say.
bedroom into the dead of night, would that maybe scare the life out of him, or was that crazy talk? I've got to know.
He's gonna look at the pelt and say, I don't think I like what you're getting at
What?
here.
Why did we let him go talk to someone unattended?
You expected Naroke to call that out?
Nick had a severe lapse in judgment. He was like,
Marsh is
well,
like-
Marsh has been fine. Marsh has been fine this whole trip. It's probably okay.
Marsh kind of picks up. No. I'm not trying to insinuate anything with that and you and him, but like, I don't know. Is he like relatively weak disposition? Very spookable?
He did seem quite spookable boarding the train, I'll give you that.
Such
I suppose it
very,
is possible. But truthfully, now that you mention it, I couldn't get him to calm down no matter how much I tried. Of course, giving him the pills to try and keep his heart rate down, because he was just so excited, excited, you know what I mean.
Okay.
To try and curbtail that, but maybe his heart rate never did finally go down. And maybe it was because he was spooked, as you say.
Yeah, like put on a werewolf suit, grab him by the neck, give him a shake. Yeah, okay. Cool. I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you for your time, Sir Doctor.
And you don't even need to insight check this. He seems really concerned. He's polite and like, yes, go now, thank you. But like, for the first time ever, his disposition is like, oh shit, like, am I in trouble? And you hear this, like, the audible click of a lock behind you.
I dust off my hands and start trying to find the group.
I look forward to what Nick's going to say when Marsh's like, yeah, so I asked the doctor about the wolf pelt and what, if that would be enough to scare someone to death. And it's like, what?
For God's sake.
And he didn't say no, and that's the best part.
Okay, so Naroke and I guess are going to talk to Silent Bob, completely unaware that this is happening.
You really should have given me Silent Bob.
I really should have. I don't know. You were like, I want to go talk to the doctor. I was like, okay, that seems fine.
It'll be quick.
It was quick, okay.
It was quick.
Very few questions were needed to be asked. Because Marsh got straight to the
Mostly because
point.
Marsh did all the talking.
I just want to get to the point. I can trust the doctor. He's a good man.
In typical fashion, Silent Bob is over yonder in his seat, looking longingly out the window. There we go. And if you approach and sit down across from him, he'll nod and grunt.
Hey, we just had a couple of questions about your furs, if that's okay.
And at that, he kind of perks up, and the briefcase beside him, he's going to open up, in case you're interested.
So, you mentioned that you had sold some furs to some people on the train, like me and some other people, probably. One of them was Dr. Lecter, right? Was there anyone else? No?
Kinda
Oh, that's
sad.
unfortunate.
Did
That's
anyone
really
return a
unfortunate.
pelt? Okay, so Myers did not buy a pelt, go murder Bates, and then return the pelt.
No. So it was probably, if there was a pelt in play, it was the one that Dr. Lecter has. Okay. All right, that's all we needed to know. Thank you. I really like the fox, by the way.
Give you a big smile, and he's pleased.
All right. We were going to go pester Jigsaw next, right?
Naroke's gonna look at this like, do you just have pelts, or do you, like, make things out of the pelts too, like a hat?
I'm just going to dig into his briefcase. And he'll pull out like a set of like fur bracers and a fur. What is like that mini cape? It's not a cape. Sorry, it just goes over your
Shawl?
shoulders. Yeah,
Capelet.
shawl. Or yeah,
Shawl, capelet.
one of those. He's also got a kind of Davy Crockett style hat that he will pull out.
You know, when Naroke said, "Do you make hats?" I immediately thought it's going to be a Davy Crockett hat, and lo and behold,
With the poopy little tail down the back. So yes, he does.
And is it, what kind of animal is it?
This looks to be raccoon.
the Davy Crockett hat is like a little. It's like a little cylindrical pillbox hat with a raccoon tail off the back.
Yeah, I've googled it over here. I'm looking at them. No, I think Naroke's gonna tough it out for Sherlock's hat and then grab a top hat at another point, or a bowler cap.
Yeah, well, those top hats were for a while made of beaver, so.
Alternatively, just get Odd Job's bowler hat with the blade around the outside edge.
With the razor blade in the brim.
Yeah, just go and throw that at people. Naroke runs into battle, throws his hat, runs back up, stabs with the axe, takes the hat back.
I'm not here, but I kind of want to ask him for like a generic wizard hat, but it's like, wait, he wouldn't have one of those.
Or would he?
Would he?
Oh.
As he just has like a couple of foxes that are just like stitched together to make like a dunce cone cap.
Oh, that'd be actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah, they got like glass eyes in and everything.
And the tail, so you've got the dunce cap on with the long like ears and tail mops.
I'm a wizard.
You're a hairy wizard.
Yes, you're not here. You can't ask about the horrifying fox chapeau. Naroke, if you're not interested in the Davy Crockett hat, he will happily kind of go back to putting stuff away and.
Yeah, I'll let him put his stuff away. We should go and sass Jigsaw.
Jigsaw is also in his regular seat, and he's not staring longingly out the window. He is kind of just dancing in his seat, humming to himself.
North's gonna sit down. Like, I'm in quite the pleasant mood this morning, aren't you?
Ah, yes. Any day a man is alive is a good day.
Most of the people on this train could agree with you.
Sadly, not all. Not where it counts.
Out of curiosity, like, what did you know about Bates? Like, he was our competition, of course.
Oh, yes, he was, and one must always keep a keen eye on the competition. Bates was not everything he seemed.
Oh.
To those not in the know, he sold miracle cures, potions aplenty. He was an honorable man. But I think there was a dark secret under those eyes.
Like what?
Bates
Hop over the back of the seat and be like, drugs, it was the drugs.
not much of a secret, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely not.
Way to kill all the fun.
It's what I'm here for.
I wouldn't say the public knew about it, but it wasn't too hard to piece together.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything on the guy besides the drugs?
No, the drugs are a pretty big deal.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. But I just didn't want us to be here for 5 minutes while you poetically explained that the murder victim was on drugs. We knew.
Yeah. Just suck all the fun out of the room.
Like a vampire. What apparently he was afraid of.
Yes. I think you would want to know deep down what Kruger and Sons was all about. That should get to the heart of your matter. That's what the detective wanted to know.
The detective is also having a nap. So, would you enlighten us? Since you are so in the know.
Sure you don't want to find out yourself? He did.
We could, but that is a very foolish way to go about a investigation. If someone has information, rather than taking cryptic hints and then chasing potential red herrings, getting the information outright is probably a wiser choice.
Well, I can't say I know anything for certain, but my competition is maybe not all that it seems, and I think you would need to reiterate what their mandate is.
What is
Talk-
their mandate?
Well, I wouldn't know that. I think you would have to speak to someone that would know their mandate through and through.
So, like, for example, the business partner or the son.
Yes. I am but a poor competition trying to get by. I don't know
Oh,
the
honey.
ins and outs.
Oh, honey, we know how much tickets to this train cost. You're not poor.
Well, some do have their good days.
Some at the expense of others.
It would behoove you, sir, to know what exactly Kruger and Sons was all about, and not their front. That's all I have for you.
All right, well, you've been dubiously helpful. Thanks for that.
Cryptic. We'll chat again later.
I hope so.
Or we might just have our lizard friend come by and ask some more questions.
I'd rather he didn't. He makes me uncomfortable.
He makes everyone uncomfortable. That's sort of the point of him.
I was going to look over and like, what are you talking about? He's fine. It's like we said Martian when we need to like make people feel uneasy, but it's like for like Naroke, it's like, oh, Marsh is normal.
It's true.
It's all these other fuckers that are weird.
This is just my completely normal friend Marsh.
He's kind of your ace in the hole to like get people totally like, wait, what? And then you guys can swoop in.
Yeah, exactly. He's great for people who are like Nick can get stuff out of people who are like who are a little overblown or a little fragile, but like if someone is very slick and reserved, there's not much that Nick can get out of them. But if you put Marsh in front of that person,
your slickness won't work on me. I don't know what slick is.
See, I'll tell you whatever you want, just go away.
Yeah, Marsh definitely has that in spades. Naroke has that a little bit, and because Naroke is basically like size of a coin, so it's just like having a very normal, casual conversation with Jigsaw, and then when Holmes came over and just trying to be suave and impress Naroke's just like, what the hell are you talking about? Just like completely like, oh, nope, Naroke failed his intelligence check. He has no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
Naroke is immune to people trying to be cool, which is very valuable to us.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
All right, so I just want to swing by the galley real quick and check in with Mavis and be like, hey, Mavis, I got a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not interrupting your work too much.
No, ask away.
How are your chickens doing? I heard something about one of them attacking somebody, and I wanted to check that that was true, because it seems kind of nuts.
Yeah, I'd say so. My chickens are kept locked up. They ain't attacking nobodies. You
So
say
they can't-
yes, please.
I will make sure to do that. Thanks, Mavis. I will swing back out.
And as you're starting to head out, it's like, do you name the chickens?
No, I'm gonna eat them. You don't name things you get attached to.
Good. And then Naroke's gonna turn and walk off.
Don't name anything you're going to eat is a good rule.
Yeah, I remember quite a while back, because I've got Rigetti, and I used, like, when I first got Rigetti, he was eating live fuzzies. Or not fuzzies, pinkies. And one of the friend had gone to Pet Store with me to pick up the mice for him. It's like, on the way back to my place, like, they named them. It's like, that's a terrible thing to, like, don't name them.
Would you do
It's
that?
like, you know
It's
where
going to
they're
be
going.
inside of a snake.
You know where they're going. Why would you name them? And then they were so like traumatized with the snake. And it was like This is why you don't name food.
Exactly.
It's like you knew when we were getting them what they were for. Like, it's like, but I thought maybe the snake would be nice. It's like, no, it's food.
No, you know what the final destination of this animal is. It's the inside of a steak.
So, Maeve, as her friends call her, did not deny owning chickens or having chickens in her cart, but seemed confident that they would be locked up.
Never owned a chicken in my life.
Chickens can't pick locks. They don't have hands.
You can't turn to Kit and he's like, should we just do a sanity check at Mavis's room?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna swing by Mavis's room and try the door.
Yeah, it takes a little bit because you've never been there before, and Marsh has probably found you by this point.
Hello.
But
Did you
eventually
find
you
out from the
can.
doctor?
Oh yes.
Oh, how the doctor went? Yeah. So, the pelt, yes. Didn't willingly lend it out. He says he normally keeps his door unlocked, so technically someone could have gone in and take it. Well, that's kind of weird considering he locked the door when I left. But
Why did he lock the door specifically when you left? Like, was he still in there? Was he leaving?
Yeah, no, he was still in there. I don't know why he locked the door. It was kind of weird. Long story short, I asked him a hypothetical situation if I was to wear a bear pelt and try to scare the doctor to death, and he seemed confused, but he didn't say it'd be impossible.
Marsh!
What?
That does seem like good information to have.
I was curious if it was like I was still stuck between it was the Zeta try or it was the like a spooky scared to death heart attack, and he seems.
So you asked a primary murder suspect if theoretically, if they were the murderer, could they have done it? Why would you do that?
He seemed kind of surprised.
I would bet.
I don't know. I didn't think we still thought he was the guy. So I just asked him.
Still a possibility. It's not zero the chance of him being the murderer. It's just low.
Yeah, so I thought it was okay to maybe take.
No.
Okay. Well, he's not going anywhere.
For future reference, no. You always want the suspect to think you know less about the murder than you actually do.
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's going anywhere. He locked himself in his room, so.
Oh, forgot. I'm gonna go check the door to Mavis's room. see if a chicken comes out.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're eventually able to find the nameplate for her room, and actually, before you even get to the door, you can hear the sound of like animals inside, like clucking, and you do hear like the snorting of a pig.
Oh, she's got
And
another
her
one.
room is locked.
That is either a small pig or a big room. So the door is locked, huh?
Yes.
Naroke's gonna reach in his pocket and grab out a skeleton key.
No, I think
walking
this
towards
one
the
can
door.
stay locked. This one can stay locked, Naroke. It's fine.
But I thought we wanted to see if the chickens were in pens. Or boxes, or cages, or something. Not just running
No,
free.
as long as they're locked in the room, that means that one of them didn't rush into the hall and attack Myers.
But Myers said that she was coming out of the room and the chicken ran out and attacked him. Which is possible. But she's saying the chickens are locked up, so are they actually in cages?
Okay. In that case, please let me try first. Just, for the sake of spreading the work around a little bit,
I'll let you work on your lockpicking skills. And I'll put the skeleton key back in my pocket.
Okay, and I'll do thieves' tools. Just watch and I'll just completely beef this.
Yeah, you're gonna fail, then Rogue's gonna have to okay, I guess gotta get the skeleton key.
16.
16. These locks are as easy as ever. They all kind of have the same mechanism in a way. It opens, and you're immediately blasted with the smell of live animals.
Yay!
And like hay, and yeah. So Mavis's room is bigger. It is actually like the size of 2 rooms, as if they knocked a wall down. And it's got pigs in like this little corner with just wood stacked, not super high, but they're pigs, so they can't get their stubby little legs over the little makeshift fence they have. And there's chickens that are indeed in like a chicken wire sort of cage.
Intriguing.
Nothing is free roamed.
Nothing is loose.
Correct.
Haha. Good call, Naroke.
I'm just gonna like walk up to the cage, look at one of the chickens, like, I'm naming you lunch. And then turn and walk back out.
It pecks at the floor. None the wiser.
Alright, so I'll lock up behind us.
Okay.
Just in case. Just in case anyone does decide to come tamper with the chickens.
It's fair. With lunch.
Suddenly all the chickens are just filled with Zeta Dry.
Oh. And everyone's just getting low doses.
Good sized doses. Like we're talking like 8 to 9 pills per chicken. And they're like, oh, all the chickens died abruptly. We need to get these things cooked up and then serve that out to the entire train. The entire train is high as a kite.
Is it like mercury biomagnification, where the larger the animal it is that you eat that has the that's in the Zeta Dry chain, the more of it you're gonna get?
In which case, you feed it to all the pigs.
All right, so I think if we're going to go check in with someone about what the drug company's mandate really is, I think the Sun is possibly a better bet than Myers.
Yeah, we should probably circle back to the Sun at some point.
So I think maybe we go talk to the Sun now.
Yeah. I don't think what's her name is Voorhees too keen to see us at the moment.
Yeah, plus there's no guarantee she knows anything about the drug company.
Fair. Though I figure if she's been shaking up with the Bates for long, then she probably has seen him take drugs at least once.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah,
either way, let's go across the Sun.
Yes.
Actually, she might be a good one to talk to in terms of like, had he actually managed to go a while without taking Zeta Dry? Because if so, and his tolerance had dropped.
Where did Marsh go? Oh no.
Oh.
What have I done?
Did you delete Marsh?
I think I
Marsh
did.
is a go.
I'm the next victim. Okay, sorry. Marsh. You won't have control yet, though. Darn it. Yeah. So you've gone outside of what's his Nuggets room? Norman. All players. Yeah. There you are, outside his room. Voorhees. I don't know if you want to rather go to Voorhees, you can.
No, let's ask the Sun first.
Yeah, let's ask the Sun first, and then talk to Voorhees maybe about the Zeta Dry thing, because she's on dope too, right?
Yeah.
But a different kind of dope.
Addicted to painkillers. That being said, it may also be worthwhile to mention that before we go to bed, if we haven't burned my other 3rd level spell slot, then we can always go and ask the dead man what his company mandate was.
This is true.
Very true.
Marsh is gonna... Oh, did we open the door yet, or...?
Knock.
Knock.
Okay.
And you hear some scrambling, and as Norman opens up the door, he says, "I'm not in the mood anymore." Oh, hello.
Expecting someone else?
What? I thought you were, never mind. Just a friend.
No, seriously. Who did you think we were?
Dr. Lecter has been concerned about everyone's state. Myers is not feeling well. He's concerned about me. He was pestering me for a checkup.
That's fair. Do you have a moment to answer some questions?
Always, yes.
Do you
Marsh steps inside.
Please, yes, please do.
Marsh does not wait for permission and steps inside.
Proof that Marsh is not a vampire.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, that's true.
Naroke is asking, do you mind if we come in as Marsh is walking into the room?
It's like, do you mind if we come in? It's yeah, come on, and turns around. Marsh is already sitting on the couch, and it's just like,
I am just gonna immediately investigate for furs. I'm really dead set on the pelt right now.
Yeah, you can give me a check.
19 on the best.
19! Woof! Alright, so you don't see any fur in his room. Sorry, Matt.
Well,
I really want to give you a win there, but
worth a shot.
yeah.
that being said, that kind of investigation and not finding fur is also still information.
Yeah.
So we are here to ask about the direction of your father's company. We have been led to believe that the version of the company perceived by the public and the version that was actually in operation were perhaps more different than one would anticipate. And seeing as you are, a younger voice in the company, someone who's an up-and-comer, possibly someone who disagreed with the ways that they were doing business, you might be able to shed some light on the subject.
Well, I can certainly shed light, but not as an up-and-comer. Truthfully, I never really cared for upholding any of the family business. I was never really involved, never wanted to be involved. I never showed initiative. I wanted no part of the company. But, yeah, I remember how it was, and I know how it is now.
How was it?
Kruger and Sons, it always was, and in a way has been, about medicine. And then it wasn't lucrative enough, and when my mother was still alive, they were failing. They weren't making money. Both my father and Mr. Myers were struggling to make ends meet. They owed a lot of money to the factory that they were renting out. And somewhere along the way, that shifted, and the money started to slowly roll in. I was a child. I didn't quite know what was going on. I never even thought to ask. But as I grew up and got a little older and maybe a little more closer to the company, they didn't just deal in medicine at that point.
I'm assuming you're talking.
You're saying they were
drugs.
dealing with something a little more sinister.
Yes, underneath it all. Sadly. And that is, of course, how the money came in. They promised it was temporary. It was just a means to an end to get a name established, so they can get back to providing medicines to the world and bettering humanity as a whole. And at that point, I think my father and Myers started to disagree on where their success should lead them next.
Where did your father think the company should go?
After the death of my mother, he almost strictly wanted to go into the study of Zeta Dry and a cure for it, as it were. He poured all of his time and energy into it, kind of neglecting other parts of the company, but it was a huge passion for him. It was important to him.
Is that why he started taking Zeta Dry?
I believe so. My mother was no longer alive to,
be his guinea pig.
Yes.
Where did Mr. Myers want the company to go?
In what made money?
So the drugs.
Yes.
How much do you know about Zeta Dry?
Not a lot. If I stand to gain my father's share of the company, I don't really want any part of it. I'd rather sell it. I don't know anything about making medicine or drugs. The Kruger and Sons, the Sons is just in spirit.
Yeah, near as we can tell, there's also nobody involved in the company named Kruger.
I thought we already figured that one out, though, because they didn't want to name it after one person or the other, so they made up a name.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How long has your affair with Voorhees been going on?
His face is gonna go red. Uh, 3 or so. Yes.
3 or so months,
Either
years.
years, decades, like
Years, perhaps. My
Years?
how time flies.
Oh, but dude, that's a long time to be banging your father's mistress.
technically mother-in-law.
They
didn't
were
get
not
married.
married.
Why didn't you put a ring on it? Stringing this poor woman along.
Everything about it seemed inappropriate, including a ring, as you say.
Um,
I'm just gonna shake my head at him.
He looks sad, like he scolded child.
so with your father,
You know what a three-year affair means? A 3-year affair means nobody involved wants to make a decision.
That's true. The status quo. That's all anyone wants. What was that, Naroke?
So with your father passing away at this point, what are your intents with the company? Since as it currently stands, you inherit his portion of the company.
Well, I don't know anything about making, potions, drugs. I don't know what use I'd be. I'm sure Myers would try and buy me out.
Is that something you'd be amicable to?
I think so, yes. And then I put a ring on it, as you so eloquently said.
With how successful the company is now, that'd be a very fancy ring.
Yes. And ride off into the fancy sunset.
All right, so that's all the questions I had.
How susceptible is your father to scares, you would say?
Well, he did spend an unfathomable amount of gold on snake oil.
Like, per se, if I was to,
No.
Okay.
I think what Marsh is trying to get at is, was your father easily frightened in an immediate sense? Not the suspicions or paranoia of, like, other beings, but, like, if you abruptly snuck up on your father when he wasn't looking, would that catch him off guard for an excessive period, or to an extreme extent?
Lately, yes, it would be kind of an extreme reaction. Played a prank on him once, and he hit me in the face.
Oh. But
Yeah.
But do you think, like, maybe, like, do you think you could scare your father to death?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
No one wants to insight check the Norman.
I will insight check the Norman. This is the son of a bitch lying through his teeth. Fuck you, dice. 13.
He does not believe that you could scare someone to death. No.
Has aside from the exorbitant purchase your father made, has the company continued doing well, or was it starting to fall on harder times with your father's obsession?
Company's doing well. The competition hates us. Them, rather.
But has the company recently been doing well, or with your father's obsession, has the finances been faltering?
Fine as far as I can tell. I mean, they kind of have a hand in two pies.
That's fair.
Of course, I have not been keeping up on the finances as of late, or ever really, no matter how many times they push me to be involved. I don't know if it was faltering. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, since my father's attention was elsewhere. But it seemed like they always still had a steady supply of everything, somehow.
Fair. And one last question, though this one may seem a bit odd. Do you know who Bortig is?
I'm afraid I don't. Sorry.
It's quite alright. I figured I would ask.
Sure.
Maybe if we cast Speak with Dead, we'll have to ask him who Bortig is.
Yeah. If we don't have any more questions for the dead body, hey, do you know who Bortig is?
Someone's gotta know.
We've seen no evidence that he exists yet.
Yeah, I think that's everything that Naroke wanted to ask. And Naroke just had to throw in the, so how long have you been hanging for? He's in there in the middle of throw him off.
A while.
Mean people. We are mean people. Okay, yeah, I think we go. I have a question I want to ask Ms. Voorhees.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna swing by her room, which I believe is quite close by.
Right next door.
Yeah, right next door.
The banging
Since
between their
he's
rooms was
switched.
not because he was hitting the walls.
And we will, I guess. Miss Voorhees is in fact, dun dun dun, in the room. Are you guys just barging in?
We're gonna knock.
We'll,
All right,
we'll
perfect.
knock. And then she'll open the door, and then Marsh will probably walk in.
What now?
Sorry, I have a somewhat sensitive question to ask, and I don't want to cause you any undue distress, but it might mean the difference between catching your lover's killer and not.
Fine.
We mean bait, by the way.
Yes, one of your lovers. Can I come in? I don't want to have this conversation in the hall where people could hear.
Yes, I'd rather that as well. Please. Sure.
All right.
Motion you guys in.
It's like, don't
We'll
worry,
swing
the other
on
lover
in.
isn't dead yet.
Oh,
Do you say that?
No. Like with my whole like,
Wait.
it's like we're talking about baits, by the way. It's like no, don't worry. It's like Norman's fine.
so we sit down and I'm like, so it's come to our attention that Mr. Bates Sr. Was taking Zeta Dry. Is that something you were aware of? You're not in trouble if you say yes.
Yes. He was struggling more so the last few years.
I was wondering if there was any prolonged period where he had managed to quit.
No, I wouldn't say. He came close, according to him, to a breakthrough in his sort of miracle drug, but it turned out to be nothing. He relapsed quite hard into it, but that was 4 months ago.
Okay, that was all I had. Any wildly inappropriate questions you guys want to ask?
I'll just do my normal, like, I look for fur. There's got to be fur in here somewhere.
One of these rooms has fur in it.
No, 13.
It's game. No fur.
I'll get you one of these days.
This is where we find out he was allergic to chicken dander, and that's what killed him.
Oh no! It was the chicken.
Yeah, she brought him a burger first, and then because that one had rat poison in it, she went back and got chicken. But there was a feather that just got left on the plate.
It's also kind of set up like it's like a locked room case, because how would the chicken get out of the cage and then back in before we found out?
I really wish we'd interviewed that houseplant.
Out of curiosity, we have received information that you as well struggle with an addiction of sorts. Would you care to elaborate? Once again,
made
you're
some.
not in trouble for this. This is simply us trying to get as much information as we can.
Of course, I don't really see how it helps, but I won't withhold. Kind of played hard and fast in my youth, and then met a man that made me want to get clean, but it was hard to do, and he's trying to help me on the way. Of course, he's kind of shifted his focus more to a different kind of drug and not what I'm on, but it's the same principle, and I am trying to get clean. It's just hard.
That's very fair. Addictions in general tend to be very difficult to kick.
Yeah, especially at a company like Kruger and Sons.
Oh?
Yes,
What
I've
makes
heard
you say
they're
that?
rather invested in keeping certain people addicted.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate further on that?
It's kind of hard to see, people like me need help, but we're still getting the supply, right? We want to cut that supply, but I don't know. Difference in opinions, I guess.
Whose opinions?
Well, Myers and Bates.
What is it that Myers wants?
Myers wants to make money. And Bates still is in love with Morgan. Deep down, that never changed.
Morgan?
His wife.
Ah. Yes, we did hear that she had died of a Zeta Dry overdose.
Yeah.
Do you know... How much do you know about her?
She died before I met Bates. I don't know much.
Well, surely Bates had talked about her.
Sure. What do you want to know specifically?
Did she become addicted to Zeta Dry before or after the company started investing into it?
After. I think. Seems right.
So it would be fair to say that Kruger and Sons played a hand in Morgan Bates' death.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, I think so.
Did Bates ever talk as though he felt directly responsible for his wife's death?
Every damn day. Wouldn't shut up about her.
Is that what pushed you to Norman?
I think it was. He didn't cry like a little baby.
And that's been going on for a few years now.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Did Bates know about that?
Hope not. Wherever he is now, I hope he never knew. Still doesn't, I hope. You have a question to ask Bates.
Yes, I still got questions. I still got to... I got another
We
speaker.
just want to ruin someone's afterlife real quick.
Oh, so good.
And Norman doesn't seem too interested in sticking with the company, does he?
No, I think he's kind of over all of it. Bad memories. Reminds him of his mom. And now this with his dad. I think he's done.
That's fair.
I think he will be.
How much Zeta Dry did Bates tend to consume?
Couple pills now and then. Keep the buzz on.
They're not large amounts then.
Not usually.
Had that increased lately with the additional stresses he was under? Going to an area where he feared werewolves and vampires and leprechauns and all of that were about.
Yeah, I think so. He was a bit more squirrely than usual. The leprechauns are not
Keep
so
saying
sure.
nobody counts on it.
He seemed out of sorts.
That's fair.
Definitely could have been the drugs.
Quick Naroke flashback moment. When we were in Bates's room,
Correct.
investigating that,
Mhm.
his jar, he had the jar of pills that was empty, correct?
Yes.
And his miracle pills that we got were from his box, like his luggage.
Yes.
I know where I want to go next.
Yeah.
Naroke had a brain blast.
Alright.
Going full on Jimmy Neutron.
Does Naroke just leave the room?
Yeah, Naroke's just like, thank you very much, and just walks out.
Oh, and he even has the wherewithal to thank her.
Yeah, I was like, what, where? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Thank you for all your cooperation, Miss Voorhees. I will also walk out after Naroke, leaving Marsh there alone in the room with her.
I say boo, and then I follow behind.
You hear a door close behind you.
Just
It
so many
also
places
locks.
Marsh can never go again.
Alright, where are y'all headed?
Bates's room.
To Bates's room. Alright. Which is that one. Wah, wah, wah. You all crowd in.
Has the room been disturbed since we were last in here?
The room. Give me investigation checks, all of you.
Well, I mean, if it has, we know who to ask.
Oh man, you're so close to a bunch of crit 20s, man. Marsh.
18.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, it does look like it's been disturbed.
Disturbed, like, are things like the empty pill bottle and all that still here, or has the room been cleaned up?
Okay, I guess it looks like it's been cleaned up. Things have been shifted about.
Naroke is specifically digging through all the cupboards or drawers or anything like that, trying to find the empty pill bottle.
What you got? A 18? He has a stack of luggage, like smaller luggage, like almost like briefcase like luggage that's been stacked by the foot of his bed. And the empty pill bottle's in there.
Awesome. I'm casting Detect Poison and Disease.
Oh shit.
Alright.
So right off the spell slot, roll 1d20 to see if we explode.
Do we all
We do
die?
not explode.
13.
This would be a great moment for a fireball.
It would be
We're
like,
searching for key evidence and we incinerate the evidence.
it's like, I think I have a clue. Boom.
A boom.
Is this pill bottle laced with driathamine?
It is.
Oh shit.
So
They put driathamine in his anti-driathamine pills.
and so because my brain is like guaranteed like, okay, so she was saying they only took a couple of pills ever at a time to keep the buzz on. He had commented on taking so many of his miracle pills, like that he lost count, trying to curb the side effects of driathamine, which is what they do, as we saw with Holmes.
Yeah, that's what the doctor's saying. He just loves those. He took so many of those pills.
But if he took so many of these pills trying to curb the driathamine effects, but these were actually driathamine, that he overdosed himself by just rapid consumption of what he thought was his miracle pills. That
So
means
the murderer is
whoever swapped the pill bottles.
Oh shit. Very good job.
Naroke had a brain blast.
Naroke had everyone like manages to get hit by little particles of inspiration like once or twice in their life, and Naroke was just squarely in the path of one today.
Marsh was like, but where does the werewolf fit into it?
I would say he hallucinated the werewolf, except that there was wolf fur on the door, which means that somebody still came in.
I mean, technically, we might not even have to need to completely follow up this werewolf thread. There's only so many people that know about Bates's, like, explicitly knew about Bates's, like, drug situation.
Well, so far it seems like everyone on the train knew about Bates's drug situation.
Yeah, I was almost saying that's like, wait a second. It's like all our most likely suspects know about it.
To be fair, it's everyone in the company and the competition.
Yeah.
Which
is
is
a lot of people.
80%. That's like 80% of the train.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So-
well, this actually, like, one way we can limit it, though, is, like, you would probably, I would be inclined to believe that the only way they could get their hands on this much rathamine is if they knew about the luggage and, like, the
Which
secret drug
Myers
compartment.
did.
Myers, well, everyone in Kruger and Sons probably knew about all the Dryathamine because everyone knew that they were dealing.
But like specifically the secret compartment in the luggage might narrow things down a bit. Because everyone knows about the drugs, but I wouldn't say everyone knows about the secret compartment. I might be a red herring, but I'm just trying to think of a way to limit it down.
I'm really liking Myers for this, especially all that talk. That we've had it confirmed from Ms. Voorhees that Norman was not interested in taking over the company, but Myers kept talking up how Norman would inherit half the company if his father died, and how much he stood to gain if his father's died.
Most to gain, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, Bates was taking the company in a direction that Myers didn't agree with, which he never mentioned that as in his initial interview.
Well, I mean, how many people
As
want
far
to
as-
be
as far
like,
as
yeah,
he was
we
con-
have this pharmaceutical company, but we are actually, I want to change it to deal in hard drugs only.
Yeah,
So
but
we're going to deal strictly in meth.
Yeah, he really talked up how they were of the same mind that first interview.
Okay, so we've still got a couple of loose ends here. We've got the fact that the werewolf,
Yes.
the wolf pelt, which Myers is showing allergies.
He lied about being attacked by a chicken.
In light of being attacked by a chicken. Yep. I do want to talk with Lecter and ask him if someone is under the influence of a high dosage of dryathamine, would that weaken the state of their heart? Because if the answer is yes, then that makes the werewolf causing the heart attack thing more susceptible, or makes more susceptible to that, if that is the case.
Yeah. So we can go talk to Dr. Lecter, and Marsh cannot come.
I'll just stand in the hallway, a little to the side. Won't suspect a thing.
I also want... In the luggage that we had seen, whether in the secret compartment or in the main one, was there... there was pills of dryathamine, correct?
There was finished dryathamine. Marsh has some, but he also left enough there that it wouldn't be noticeable that something was missing.
Yep. Naroke had been hit by this brain blast. And cast detect poison and disease. It is concentration for up to 10 minutes. I want to walk next door and knock on Myers' door.
All right. You can certainly do that.
Yeah, Naroke got straight up just beamed in the face with inspiration.
Just slapped in the face with it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Naroke can walk up and knock, 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 knock.
There's no answer.
Naroke's going to reach in his pocket and pull out a skeleton key.
Nick does not have the wherewithal to stop him this time.
Naroke's going to push the key up against the door, turn it, shove the key back in his pocket, grab it, and try and push open the door. Is the door open?
No, the door opens.
Awesome. Skeleton key works 100% of the time.
Doesn't matter that. All right.
Didn't lock his door.
Works 100% of the time. It's fine.
You are in Myers' room.
Is Myers in here?
He's not in there.
Wonderful. Do I sense poison? Because detect poison disease is still running. Is there a package of dryathamine pills?
So there's a nightstand by one of the beds there, and there is a small baggie of powdered dryathamine.
Does he have pills?
There does not seem to be any pills.
Okay. Does he have in that? Is the bag full or is the bag mostly empty?
I'd say it's a full bag.
Okay. Is there an empty bag as well?
Everyone give me perception checks as you're flitting about his stuff.
Do I have advantage on account of the fact that it... Like, I'm basically like wondering, like, is there like an emptied bag that had dryathamine in it, so there may still be residue of poison?
Yeah, so Marsh finds a little baggie in the garbage off in the corner of the room that pings your poison sense.
Spiffy. Is there any kind of bonding agent in here? I'm gonna ask Marsh because he's more alchemically inclined than I am. If there's any kind of bonding agent or something that would be able to be used to make pills in the room. And once again, like keeping the poison detection going, like seeing if I can find anything that has like residue, like any tools that have residue of dryathamine on it.
Yeah, I guess I'll look around.
So Marsh,
oh, there you go.
there's no tools or anything, but when you're looking at this baggie, it's different than the baggie of powder. It pings, but Marsh, you're like, this probably had pills in it.
Yeah, I was actually just about to mention, it's like, he's probably been planning this for a while. He probably had these made in advance.
That's fair. That also kind of goes with what I'm thinking.
I'm kind of wondering if, like, maybe after Bates got deaded, he probably would have came into Bates's room and made sure to like clean up the pills if there was any remaining, assuming Bates didn't eat them all.
Well, we can ask Bates if he ate them all.
I mean, well, we actually did ask how many pills he took before, right?
He said he lost count.
Lost count.
So I'm wondering, like, was there pills left and he just stopped taking them, or did he keep taking the pills until they were all gone? He just doesn't know how many there were.
Should we try to? I was wondering we should. I don't think Myers has any sort of clue we're on to him yet. I was worried he might be trying to figure something out because he's not in his room, but I don't think Myers is clued in yet to our.
I'd like to know where he is at all times at this point.
I mean, we could always just tie him.
I would like to
tie him to one of the things on the side of the train, which is like we'll always know where he is. Stuck. It's like, we'll let you back in when you admit what you did. Shut up, phone. My phone alarm is telling me that it is time for D&D. A week out.
Yes.
Are
you using your last speak with dead before that runs out, or are you searching the train?
Well, speak with dead I can cast whenever. It's third level spell, so I still have one third level spell slot. I'm not too concerned about casting that while I still have the detect poison going, because I can just recast that for another level 1 spell slot.
Mm-hmm. I would like to go and find Myers just to make sure he's not up to anything nefarious, because I really like him for it at this point.
I'll join on the Myers hunt.
Yep.
I'm not too sure asking Bates, like, did you leave any pills left over, would really clue us into too much, because if he had any pills left over, I guess I assume Myers, if he was smart, would have disposed of those pills in a smart way, like throwing them outside the train, or maybe he kept them on him, in which we got him.
Before we do that, I do want to take a quick step into Lecter's room. I'm gonna knock on, like, once we've kind of like found the baggie, gonna shove that in my pocket, and then go and knock on Lecter's door.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no answer.
Gonna pull out my skeleton key. But use the turn it, grab the door and give it a push. Does it open?
It's stuck.
Door must be jammed. I'm gonna continue pushing.
But at this point, I'm catching up, and I'm like, hey, do you think I could give it a shot?
Well, I already unlocked. The door's just a little stuck.
Yeah, there's a finesse you need to these things that might be able to get it open.
I mean, if you got grease or something like WD-40 or something like that in that bag, yours, by all means.
Yeah, I'll thieves' tools.
Before we break the door on the train.
Yeah, before we break this man's door open, 21.
Yeah. Love it. And in fact, if you wanted to, you're able to pull out like a little vial of oil in your thieves' tool and make it look like that's really what you were getting at.
Yeah, Naroke is none the wiser.
Yeah, it opens for sure. You're a pro at these doors now. His room is empty.
Like completely empty?
Is the pelt still there?
Sorry. Sorry. By empty, he's not.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Those are
My
two
apologies.
very different things, and that was the one I was like,
They are.
it's a
If it was empty, I'm like, oh fuck, he's
The
doing
word-
it for it.
Yeah,
Werewolf
him and
murderers.
Him and Myers just like got into the back or the caboose of the train, disconnected. It's like we're getting the fuck out of here.
Wait, I actually wonder, would it be funny if both Myers and the Doctor tried killing him in the same day? The Doctor just tried to be like the scary werewolf, didn't work, went back home. He ate the pills.
I really want to track the fact that both of these guys are not in their rooms. I don't like. I would like to find them.
Yeah. My main concern is coming in here while I've still got the detect poison going is there traces of Zetadry or Drathmine on the wolf pelt?
No, there's not.
There's
The
not?
wolf pelt does not ping anything for you.
Okay, is there, looking around the room quickly, just with like a quick glance, is there any poison pinging in my...
I think what we should do is honestly just find Myers and detect poison on him. Maybe he slipped up and kept some of the pills on him, so...
Yeah, primarily what I wanted to see was, like, had the Driathamine... Like, was the Driathamine pills... carried and handled while using the werewolf pelt? Like, went in, scared the bejesus out of him, threw the pills into the... Like, swapped out the pill ball, left that behind, like, sneakily, and then... him being like, oh god, what the hell, and just like eating all these pills and then died. Because, you know, panic states can also leave gaps in memory. Fun times. And then if there was just like a half bottle of like Driathamine pills somewhere in Lecter's office, which doesn't appear so.
Yep.
Okay, so
No poison pings.
Okay, so we close the door and let's go find Myers. And Lecter.
And Lecter.
It's not that big a train. There's a limited number of places they could be.
We
They
pick
are
one of
limited.
two directions.
Do we want to?
Oh yeah.
Do we want to
front of
split
the
up,
train,
or
to
do
the
we
back?
want to all book it to the caboose? Check to make sure they're not just like yeeting drugs out the back of the train to like hide evidence.
I think we split up and cover both bases.
Nero's heading towards the caboose.
I'll take the train engine just in case.
I'll
You
also
just
go
want
with
to go and
train
steal
engine
more
'cause
blue rocks.
No, I mean I want those rocks, but
I will follow in Marsh's direction because I feel like two of us combat wise is equivalent to one Naroke.
yeah, Naroke could just hold one of them down till we get back.
See, I just have to. Well, I cast hold person on one and then just beat the tar out of the other. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Splitting up.
We'll go with Naroke or with Marsh and Nick first.
Okay, so Marsh and Nick, you're heading through the like 4 layers of sleeping carts. There's the kind of the prestigious area that you're in, and then the commoner area. Still no sign of them. You get to the carts where Jigsaw and Silent Bob and the ladies and all the randos kind of frequent and hang out during the trip. Does not appear to be there. And then you get to the galley cart. People are eating. It's lunchtime. Actually, it's probably like early dinner, let's say. You guys have done a lot of sleuthing. And Myers is there with Lecter and Voorhees and Norman. And they are sitting around a table.
Oh, okay. I was worried we were about to have our dramatic confrontation scene. But
No,
once,
someone
once
in
we
the back of the train.
once we bolt into the room, see them there, I immediately slow down to a walk. So I just looked like I was really eager to have lunch.
Food. I like food.
Marsh, why do you sound so weird about that? You do like food.
Oh damn! I forgot.
You don't need need to fake liking food, Marsh.
Give me a sausage person. No.
Give me a sausage person?
No,
Okay.
never mind. Okay, I guess we'll just sit
Are
near.
you getting
nearby.
weirder?
No. Marsh has been cooped up in a trade for a very long time. He's getting cabin fever.
He's just losing his ability to interact with other people.
It hasn't even been 3 whole days.
There's still like 3 more days till our destination.
We're going to get through the
Coming
end.
out of
Marsh
lockdown,
is
where it's
gonna-
like... It's like coming out of lockdown where you're just like, no, it's fine. I haven't completely forgotten how to interact with a stranger. I love you.
Get me the sausage
Here.
first.
Sir, please. This is a Wendy's. All right. Yeah, they appear to be talking amongst themselves, and they all have a glass of like wine in their hands.
Detect
And
poison and
Lecter-
diseases in the back of the train.
I don't think they're doing, even though it did come to my mind. Nah, they're not doing that.
And they make sort of like a solemn toast. None of them look happy. I should say this. It's very obvious that they all.
But yeah,
look
suicide pacts
crying
never
and
are
stuff.
happy moments.
And they clink together, and they say to memories in the future, and they all take a sip or whatever. So you have found the Kruger and Sons crew.
Man, I wish Naroke was here to cast Detect Poison.
I mean, we still have Speak with Dead, so that would just help us finish the case.
We don't have to actually make sure the killer is brought to justice. We just have to beat Holmes's conclusions.
Yeah.
Who
Yep.
killed him?
Or beat up Holmes.
Beat up Holmes.
Oh yeah, just punch him in the face. This is our book. Bye, and then leave
And
the
then take
train.
his
And then the
hat.
rope leans over, takes the hat.
How many hit
lost
points do you think this man really has?
He has a single machete. We could just take his machete, and he couldn't do anything about it.
Oh my God.
Stab him with his own machete.
Alright.
Naroke would have like moved fairly quickly to the back of the train as soon as he gets into the caboose and like sees like they're not hiding the luggage and the luggage is there. He'd have turned and just like beelined it back the other way, trying to catch up. So, how close to the back of the train is Lecter's cabin?
It is the closest of the sleeping cars.
Okay, so I would not be there. So there's like what, 2 cars in between them and the luggage?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I would be not too far behind Nick and Marsh then.
Well, sorry, there's 2 sleeping cars, then there's like the car where everyone sits down. You wouldn't have been that far. It'd be fine. If you're hoofing it, it's
Naroke
really fine.
would not have been going slow, plus 8 feet tall and a long leg stride, so.
Yeah.
It's like 3 steps and Naroke has passed through a car.
I assume you're hoofing it because you're trying to keep your detect poison up.
No, hoofing it because I'm trying to find them before they do something dumb.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because like if they're trying to like unload everything off the back of the truck to not, or off the back of the train to not get caught, it's like want to catch them before it's all gone. But get there, see the stuff's there, it's like good, and then turn and like beeline it back the other way. By this point, detect poison disease probably is worn off.
Yeah.
Well,
you eventually come back in, and I assume Dominic and Marsh are eating away.
Yeah, we're just grabbing some lunch.
Naroke
I'm trying to coach Marsh through. No, dude, you actually like food. You don't need to pretend to like food.
I don't even remember what my favorite food is.
Naroke
Well,
will
what
see
have
them.
you eaten that you liked so far?
Cat corn.
We've had.
I mean, the cat corn was meowsically delicious.
But we've had bacon, sausages,
Chicken.
chicken. I'm looking for something a bit more
Cat corn?
grainy.
Cat corn?
Did you like the cat corn? Was really disturbing, but I did notice you eating quite a lot of it.
Yeah, I think cat corn. Yeah, no, I think maybe a nice what goes nice in cat corn with cat corn.
You had a fish leg, like a leg of fish, which was the fin with a human leg.
Did not like that. Didn't enjoy it.
We'll have to figure out this later.
Naroke will, like, as Naroke comes in, like, he'll probably spot Marsh and Nick sitting down and eating, and just kind of like go over, like, quickly throw a few things on a plate and go and sit down, and it's like, are they? Oh, there they are. Okay.
Yeah, I was also kind of hoping they were up to something nefarious so we could have a dramatic confrontation, but we're not that lucky.
The luggage was still there, so they haven't thrown it off the train.
That's good.
So maybe we could just kind of like sneakily detect poison on Myers. And,
How close are we to them?
Not
Are
that
we
very
within 30
far.
feet?
Not more than 30 feet. No.
Spiffy. Naroke's gonna try not to blow up the train again.
All right.
Fireball.
16 did not blow up the train.
Did not blow up the train.
Casting detect poison and disease again,
All right.
and I'm looking over at their table. How many of them are about to die from poisoned wine?
There is no pinging of their poisoned wine. It seems like a totally honest toast to the memory
God
of
damn
the
it.
man.
But like, is
That's
there
like
any
Myers
pigs
the
on
only
the
one who's about to
person?
survive this Last Supper.
So,
Satisfy my demands for trauma, god damn it.
We were almost. But instead of their wine, I was wondering if there's any pings on any of their persons at all.
Yeah. Am I sensing any pings of poison?
you are not. It seems like nobody is keeping the illicit drugs on themselves.
I
Sorry,
figured
Darn.
During a
was a-
murder mystery.
there would have been a chance.
No, see, the thing is, there is no more drugs. Why? Because Bates ate them all.
He was so
Bates took them all. There are no more drugs. Aside from the ones that we have and gave to Holmes.
That's a different story.
Because we wanted to see what would happen.
I mean, I guess like I'll just kind of like Marsh kind of ask the party. It's like, I mean, I think we've got enough on Myers. Let's slap him with the zone of truth. Get him to say some things, and then we're good. We're done.
I think that's how Zone of Truth works. I'm not an expert, but I think there's caveats to that.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
I mean, but if we wanted to do a zone of truth with all four of them here, it would maybe be the best.
In the middle of lunch / early dinner?
It would be more dramatic if we leave it to the evening.
Again, we don't necessarily have to bring this guy to justice. We just have to be right where Holmes is wrong.
Or right first.
Okay, so we got the motive, we got the suspect, we have the cause of death. I mean, is that everything? Is there...
We have pseudo cause of death. He overdosed on diathamine. I do want to go and chat with Bates again and find out, like, did he finish off all the pills that were in his bottle? Okay. And did he realize the pills in his bottle were diathamine and not his anti-diathamine?
He was muttering about how he needed to keep taking them, and then they didn't seem to be working. So my best guess is that he didn't know that they were actually Zeta-Tri.
Oh, that would imply that he's actually been taking these pills for a while.
Well, he has his magic pills that we had a bottle of the regular, like his regular ones that we got from Dr. Lecter that were not Zeta-Dry. But the empty pill bottle in his room, which he was taking those thinking that they were not Zeta-Dry,
Are Zeta-Dry.
Were Zeta-Dry. Just straight up. Which means they got swapped out. Most likely culprit right now is Myers, just because he stands to gain the most. Because whether Norman is accused of being the murderer, and then Myers takes over the company, or Norman isn't accused of being the murderer and Myers just buys him out, because I think Myers probably knows all in all that he's like Norman has no interest in the company.
Yeah, either way he wins.
Yeah. And so he stands the most to gain, because the only person who he couldn't push to go the other direction was Bates.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the motive and the suspect are, like, super set in stone. I guess there's still maybe, like, a couple
I want to learn more about
the actual night.
Yeah, I want to learn more about the werewolf thing.
I'm really running out of ideas of how to more figure out about the werewolf. I guess we could ask him what happened after the werewolf. Though I forget.
He said everything went dark while the
Yeah.
werewolf had him by the neck.
Oh, then that would just imply that there wasn't.
That's when he
anything after
died.
werewolf. Yeah,
That was when
no,
he died.
wouldn't-
Yeah.
You had some questions you had for Dr. Lecter. With regards to, somebody had questions for Dr. Lecter with regards to, hey, if someone was shotgunning Zeta Dry pills all night, would that cause a heart attack or make them more susceptible to a heart attack?
Yeah, that was one of the things that I wanted to ask him to find out whether or not that would make it easier to cause a heart attack. Aside from the fact that, Dr. Lecter probably took, Bates probably took like 30, 40, 50 pills, and it takes you like 25 to kill a person.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that it was just mass pill consumption. Dr. Lecter didn't seem to think that.
Yeah, mass pill consumption and some sort of trigger.
He also did not he was operating under the assumption that that Bates would be taking a standard dose as opposed to compulsively taking pills that he thought were going to reduce Zeta Dry symptoms, which were actually causing Zeta Dry symptoms. I don't think he would operate 50 pills could have easily done it because no reasonable person, no matter how high their tolerance is, would take 50 pills.
But when you're taking 50 pills that are supposed to stop the thing exactly what your pills are doing, then
Or it's like, oh, this didn't work. I need another. Oh, this didn't work. I need another. I don't know.
It's like people who are like, oh, I took a Tylenol for my headache, but my headache got worse, so I'm going to take another Tylenol, and then they realize that they're just taking something that's not Tylenol.
Yeah, and then it turns out that they've been taking, I don't know, sleeping pills the whole time.
But yeah, I think I want to ask Dr. Lecter about that. I want to chat with the dead body again. And because the other thing too is if we go and chat with the dead body, I want to ask him what was in, there was an empty bottle in his room. What pills were in that bottle? Because if he's like, those were Zeta Dry, then that completely throws this whole shtick out the window. He's like, those are my anti-Zeta Dry pills, whatever the hell he calls it. Those are my miracle cure. Then we know the pills were swapped.
Maybe. I wonder if we could cast Speak with Dead on the Pell to maybe get the bear to tell us what happened.
A, it's a wolf.
Oh.
And B,
it was dead before the events occurred.
Actually work. There's still got the head on it. There's not a skull in there. But
the thing
it's got a mouth.
But it only knows the things that it knew when it was alive.
God
damn it.
Speak with Dead does not function the same way as Speak with Plants.
God damn it.
We're so close yet again.
Yeah, Speak with Dead. They only
also,
know the
wolves
things
can't talk, and wolves can't talk, and the dead body has to be able to speak.
We could bark. Just 2 barks for yes, 1 bark for no. It'd be fine.
But then it can't necessarily understand us. So
yeah.
Either way, I'm pretty sure
it knows all the things
work.
it knew in life, and human language is not a thing a wolf generally knows.
I will draw pictures of all the suspects and be like, "Did this guy put you on?"
Sadly, the whole restriction of it only knows that it knew in life means that it wouldn't know what happened to its pelt while it was dead.
God damn it!
We'll just trust its gut instinct, even if it's wrong.
Oh my god. You guys
So
are
many
crazy.
stupid ideas. We still have to come up with a way to solve this murder with 1 to 20 rats.
Well, I mean,
wait. Are rats hypoallergenic?
No,
they're not.
What does that mean? So, does that mean Melvin would be bad with names? Would be allergic to them, or would not be allergic?
Myers would be allergic to rats.
Myers.
Okay, so I mean, if we want to do some more dastardly interrogations,
Just keep waving a rat in his face. I've got a fox fur for that, but sure. Just,
now, see, you lock him in the room. It's just like, I imagine there's like a little window that you can open up into the.
Just keep putting rats in.
Just block off the door and just start tossing rats over the top. It's like, we'll stop tossing rats, and when you finally tell us what we want to know, and it's like at one point we just tip the bag in and just push it inside out. Just.
There's a darker version of that also. Which is to say, if you put a rat in a metal bucket and then
Yeah.
put the open end of the bucket on, say, someone's stomach.
Yeah, the
And
rat
he'll
will
have
Eat
eat
out
its
the
way out.
bucket. The rat's
he'll
gonna
have an-
dig away, dig its way out through the person.
And then he'll have an allergic reaction.
And also be eaten from the inside out by rats. But yes, cruel torture methods that were definitely used.
Sorry, Mel.
No, it's good. In the few minutes we have left, do we want to cut it here, or do you want to speed run a talk with the body and the doctor?
Let's speed run and
think
talk to the
maybe-
body. The
Okay,
doctor's
we're
having
speed
supper.
running.
We'll disturb him afterwards.
Okay.
Also, at this point, we're nearing evening in the day as well, correct?
It's coming into dinner time. Yeah.
Okay, sweet deal. So we'll probably get a long rest at the start of or early on into the next session. Okay. Yeah, so let's hoof it to the body because we got questions for him.
Okay.
The most important of which is who the fuck is Bortig? So, once again, do not blow up the train.
Hooray!
So yeah, I'll cast Speak with Dead, and that's my second level 3 spell slot. And as the body comes to unlife, it's just like, sorry to disturb you again, but we have a couple questions. First off, the bottle of pills in your room. What was in that? There was an empty bottle in your room. What was in that bottle?
It's called Morgrin to curb withdrawal symptoms.
Oh God, he named it after his dead boy?
Huh?
That was not one of the 5 questions.
Yes.
Yeah, that statement clearly had an exclamation mark at the end of it.
Yes. Does not
Yeah,
count.
it ended in an interrobang, and therefore is not a valid question for Speak with Dead.
And no, was like, did you eat or did you take all the pills that were in that bottle? Did you finish off what was in that bottle?
I finished the bottle, though it was not full.
But you finished off, so there would have been no more pills.
Yes.
Does that count as 2 or 3?
You have 2 questions left.
Shit.
Whoops.
Well, one question's the Bortig question, so we have one question left.
I don't know. Well, doesn't
Um,
have to be.
Does not have to be the Vortig question.
Naroke's then gonna ask, have you and Myers recently had a strong disagreement on the direction in which your company should take?
Yes. He's been disappointed in me. And I've been disappointed in him.
Well, if we're not gonna ask a Bortig question, I just want one more clue.
I mean, we can. It just, do we have anything else we'd rather ask? And if the answer's no,
I wanted to ask, like, for more details about the werewolf, but at the same time, he's probably too, like, scared to actually be able
He
to
was
give us.
high as a
like-
kite when the werewolf came in.
Yeah, so I don't think we can get too much details about that. Well,
What do we want our last question to be?
it's getting close to Bortig.
I'm taking it. Look,
You froze for a second for that last bit.
I was saying our time to Vortig is getting dangerously low.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Do we want to ask whether or not the werewolf said anything to him?
Growl.
I
I'm
think
a werewolf.
yes.
Because if the werewolf said anything incriminating, he may have been too high as a kite to realize that this is not actually a werewolf and actually just Myers in a wolf costume.
Yeah. I think we say, what did the werewolf say to you, or what did the monster say to you?
Yeah. Fine, I'll take it over a Bortek question.
What
We
did
can
the
ask about
monsters...
Vortex tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, I can cast it twice again tomorrow. What did the monster say to you when it attacked?
It did not speak. It only screamed with the voice of the man it once was before the transformation to a werewolf.
I just pictured the werewolf transformation as this guy like spinning around while putting on this cloak.
See,
wouldn't it be extremely funny if it turns out that Myers is legitimately a werewolf, and this whole wolf pelt thing is just out of left field?
He'd be allergic to himself. That'd be the worst.
Oh, it suck!
Is it a Sailor Moon? I don't know.
Now we have to do another speak with Dead to figure out. No, but who was that person? Oh, out of questions.
Oh shoot, I was gonna say. Although when it comes to the whole werewolf transformation, he's like spinning around and putting on the werewolf or putting on the wolf cloak. Mine was imagining just like full like Sailor Scout transformation sequence.
Yeah. I mean, he said he like Bates said the werewolf had giant fangs, so maybe just had like the dentures to go along with it. Wait, does anyone have any silver, like, just in case? Like, just in case?
DM,
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, silver is actually silver.
Does the wolf pelt have teeth?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, darn.
I thought we had a gotcha there, but we don't.
No, it's got teeth. Surprisingly intact. Well done.
They're probably like some kind of denture system.
Just has his hand in the mouth like a puppet.
Yeah. All right. So we've come to our full 4 hours. So
and we have
found
found out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's midnight here.
Yeah.
Yay.
So someone needs to go to bed. Process all this information. You got through 4 hours of interrogation. You got some good leads. And it'll be interesting to see where you take it next session.
Probably involving throwing Myers off a train.
Yeah. Or at least dangling him off the train until he confesses. One of those two things.
Yep.
I mean, rats.
Or rats.
Also, just interrogating him with rats.
For some reason, I tried combining throwing him off the train with rats. Like, we just make a rope of rats and then just be like...
We put him in a bag, we fill the bag with rats, and then when we're done interrogating him, we throw him and the rats in the bag off the train.
It's a lot of steps that I don't want to think about right now.
Yeah, it's a complicated plan, but it does satisfy all our requirements of rats, bag, Myers, train off.
Train off.
That being said, how many rats did you have to dump onto the front of this train in order to get it to derail?
We can find out.
If you turn that inside out, yeah.
Yep.
Let's not do it while you're on the train.
We'll do it when the train is leaving for the other direction.
Oh my god. We are ending the session. Of other people. To anyone watching, thank you. To my lovely players, thank you for making this a shit show. For not only going along with it, but adding to it. I appreciate it. Giggles campaign is next Sunday at 5 p.m. PST.
Yep.
And then we will continue the following week to what I believe will be the end of the Eisenbolt train saga.
Oh, if it's not going to be the end. Things are going to get wacky.
It's going to be the
We're going to
situation.
spend 4 more hours asking people awkward questions about the wolf pelt.
Yeah, so to everyone watching, have a good day, evening, wherever you're at, and we'll see you guys later.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.